by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports.
Yes. On a Friday, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. I don't know if you're trying to watch us on YouTube. I don't know why YouTube hates us. They hated us yesterday and they hate us today, and only us apparently. So we have the powers that be working on that. So you can check us out, Sacktown Sports app, until it gets figured out, or on sacktownsports.com. And go from there. We have a fun Friday planned for you today as we go over the NBA Finals, a Finals Friday, and the Celtics model. That's a model nobody really knows because, it's the Celtics. It's impossible. Nobody else can do that. Okay, well, we're going to see just can they change that moving forward. We're going to break down who the Kings worked out as well. And, of course, 12 o'clock, we have a new mock draft. And I can tell you right now that Chris will be excited about that one, even though this guy isn't his pure number one right now. And a free agent, or excuse me, a player on the Jazz that we haven't talked about in a while, and bringing that name up again, why he would or would not work for the Kings. Chris Watkins, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, we watched the game together yesterday. It was a good time, and excited to get this Friday rolling and head into the weekend. I walked out to my car this morning and didn't burn to death. That was great. The weather seems to already be.
But can I tell you something?
Out a bit, sure.
Was it? No, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. Okay. Which was Tuesday was supposed to be the bad day. Wednesday was worse to me. Wednesday was the worst to me. And that was the day. I got to tell everybody, I've been talking a big talk. Mm-hmm. That was the day I tried to get in the car. And, I wear my shorts. My shorts they're not high, but, right. I got some thigh meat showing. And I go to sit down. My thighs get burned on the leather. Yeah. Okay, my thighs get burned on the leather. And I turn the car on. I'm trying to crank the AC. Thighs get burned on the leather. I'm like, dang it. And I try to grab the seatbelt. The seatbelt hits my forearm, burns the crap out of me. I had to get out the car. You left. I'm just standing outside of my car, letting the whole thing air out. It was terrible. It was actually terrible.
Your car branded you.
I have a brand. I was in a fraternity. It was terrible.
It's called Jeep. Yeah, what is going on?
Outside, that's fraternity brand. I got it was terrible.
Yeah. Well, not great. There's kind of like a Sacramento August nights vibe that people are into. It's just, it's an acquired taste, but at some point you just have to it just is what it is. And you just got to try and remember the good times when you could step outside and not be fearful that you're going to actually melt. So yeah, man, it's going to be a little bit cooler this weekend. Definitely hoping to take advantage of that. Maybe hit the water, maybe go on some kayaks or something. I don't know.
Wow. Chris is outside again. Speaking of, we have the one, the only Simone behind the glass for us.
Speaking of boats,
today.
Speaking of water.
Speaking of yacht clubs and what's that show, Simone, that we were talking about? Below Deck. Yeah, Simone came to us today and said, hey, I got a question for you guys, and I'm going to save it for the air. So, Simone, whenever is clever, we can get to that question. So, yeah, Chris, I mean, it was terrible, brother.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And it was also terrible for the Mavericks as they got the brakes beat off them last night. And look, it's funny to me that every series we do this, right? And everyone is saying, Celtics, they got it. It's over.
Right. And it was over in the first quarter, right?
Exactly.
It was
over.
Yes. I think Brendan literally was like, series is cooked.
Right.
It's a sweep.
Right. So behind the curtain a bit, Brendan, Frankie, and Chris, we hung out yesterday, okay, outside of work hours. We wanted to put the minds together, do some thinking, and we were excited to watch a good game. We ate some sushi. It was a good time. Frankie had a bento box because he's a child, and it was a good time. But then the game started, and pretty quickly the game escalated, and then they got it within 8. At one point, you thought maybe something could happen, and it didn't pop. It didn't pop.
End up happening. It was it was a huge game for the Celtics. I mean, that's like the ultimate confidence boost. Like I'm sure like everybody was on the Celtics side was super excited to get out there for game 1, and Porzingis is coming back, but at the same time, you probably had to hold a little bit of I don't know, just fear or nervousness man, what if Kristaps comes back and then in the first 2 minutes he pulls his quad or what is his calf again, and then it's almost like the Gordon Hayward injury, definitely to a less extent, where there's this major high going in and then the injury happens, and then all of a sudden everybody's emotions are down and things just don't go your way, and you kind of are shell shocked, and then by halftime you have to recoup and everything, and it was whatever that situation is, it was the complete opposite of that. Porzingis comes out on fire, dude can't miss. He's looking like Michael Jeffrey Jordan out there. Yeah. And it's like, it reminds you, and I think everybody probably had the moment of, oh yeah, that's right. The Celtics were the best team in the NBA all season long. They didn't have maybe their third best player, second best scoring option for this entire playoffs. Still only lost 2 games to get here. And now that they have him, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like all the Infinity Stones are in the gauntlet, and, this is a snap away from being over.
Well, and how about Porzingis? I mean, I used this meme before from The Dark Knight when Bruce is climbing out of the cave. Yes. How about that for Porzingis? I mean, he's in Washington. You really don't know what's about to happen with his career, and all of a sudden he's back to the forefront. He's in the finals, and he's balling in the finals. He's had a really confusing career, and we have some sound from Stephen A. Smith on Porzingis, and it's what you would call a freezing cold take. So we would get to that. All right, they're coming down my road. This is from Shortcake 182, a child. Maybe he just likes variety. Talking about Frankie and his bento box. I love a good bento box. No. I'm just having some fun with Frankie.
Did he eat any sushi?
A California roll.
Okay.
With a fork. Yeah.
Frank.
So that's what I'm saying.
He's a proud man. He'll definitely come on here and admit it. So I have no problem putting it.
And I hate to yuck anyone's yum, but we can
I love that. That's great.
We can sophisticate that palate.
What is wrong with our writers? Absolutely. Can we have this conversation? You got Brendan and his mayo glizzy. Okay. You got Frankie and his fork and bento box.
And then Emil is just DoorDashing every day.
Emil DoorDashes a meal every day and kombucha.
Yes.
If you ever have questions on food in the area, ask Emil. This man has had every restaurant that is within a 10-mile radius
but
of this place.
He's consistent. He's like mad consistent. So it's always like Tuesdays I'm going to, certain taco spot. Yes. Yeah. And it's, I don't know.
All I know is when
I leave, more chaotic to me. I know it's kind of organized, but like that's more psycho. Like at least if you're going to do it every day, like spread it out.
Well, do it while you can, Emil. I'll tell you this much. Right. When I know what day it is when I turn the corner and I smell his, what is it?
He's got which one of the meal, like you said,
the sushi day, but it's not sushi.
That's Wednesdays, and it's poke.
The poke bowl. The poke.
Someone was like, "Oh, that's Wednesday."
Poke. I turn the corner and it's poke.
Wednesdays is crazy.
Come on. And and somebody is saying, "Oh, Alan, get ready for Sacramento summer. Be ready to carry a towel and put the towel on your seat." Who lives like this?
Bro, yes.
What is this?
Multiple people who have blankets.
916 is saying terrible. Talk to us when it's 112. 112?
Yes,
what is it? Peaches and cream?
Bro.
I'm not doing this.
And it's like a whole week. And then you're going to say, oh, dude, thankfully it's only 103 on Tuesday.
And when you're planning to go outside of the house, or like I'm strategically planning when I can walk my dog because the pavement's too hot.
You got to be careful.
It's a different breed.
And the
out
problem is, and look, I got to take this to the big boss. We need more trees in the parking lot. There's no way to. There's nowhere to hide our cars.
You can always park out front.
I might have to.
That's why we have like 12 cars in our garage. Like it's only supposed to be the station vehicles.
I want a garage. I deserve a garage spot.
Vehicle. We got everyone who's got a plug-in car. All of a sudden is like, no, I actually have to. Like,
no, I don't care about your plug-in.
Yeah,
I care about my hot thighs. Okay, and I'm not talking about Nashville hot chicken. Coming up next. At 1 o'clock, we have your last chance to win David Spade tickets. Simone will pick. Actually, no, it was supposed to be me today because everyone's picked it. Everyone's picked it this week besides me, so I will pick it, and I promise it won't be 4 because we picked that number too much. So that is at 1 p.m. And coming up next, we continue to break down the finals and why everybody is losing their minds when the Mavs have done this before, but did this look a little bit different? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Brooks and Dunn Reboot 2024 Tour.
I'll play something country.
The best-selling duo of all time. Live with David Lee Murphy.
A little dust on the bike.
Saturday, June 8th, Toyota Amphitheater.
Turn around, go to town, looks good, boogie.
On sale now at livenation.com. Brooks and Dunn Live, part of the Hard Rock Sacramento Concert Series.
We all have some things from the past that we might regret, or better yet, might like to get rid of. I'm talking about that mistake you made years ago that still may be haunting you. How great would it be if that could be expunged and gone? Poof! Just like that. But where do you go for something like that? Try the Gonzalez Law Offices. Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in downtown Sacramento, and he's here for you. Maybe you need someone for wrongful termination. Again, the Gonzalez Law Offices. Go to saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
1 p.m. David Spade tickets. Okay, 12 p.m. we have another mock draft. This one is from Bleacher Report. Chris is very excited about it. We will start to get into some Kings talk very, very soon. By the way, everyone, I don't know if you placed any cheese on either team, but just so you know, Drake bet on the Mavericks. So do with that information what you will.
Mm-hmm. So all in on Boston is what I'm hearing.
That is where I would go. And Chris, you look good last night. Well, by the way, you do look good. Somebody on the chat said, shout out to Chris and the haircut.
Definitely need
So
it.
shout out to the haircut, shout out to barbers and all of that good stuff. Shout outs and closeouts. That's at the end of the show as well. But, you know, when it comes to the Mavericks trying to get this done against the Celtics, one call that you had was Jaylen Brown. It was plus 600 for the finals MVP. Only one game.
Right.
But I guarantee you it's not plus 600 anymore.
No, yeah, man. I mean, it just kind of made a lot of sense to me because, I mean, honestly, it's a defensive angle that makes more sense. I think he's going to put up somewhere in the 20s. Maybe he can get near 30, but probably not per game. But yeah, like he's going to be guarding Luka for a majority of the series. And like, I feel like Jaylen Brown has definitely gotten to this point where, again, I think we talked about it yesterday or a couple days ago where people kind of get twisted in this narrative. And when they don't actually watch the game, they'll start to believe because somebody has bad press, as in Jaylen Brown has no left hand. I think people have now turned that into Jaylen Brown isn't good. He's not skilled. He actually is lucky when he does good. And like, that's just the furthest thing from the truth. And so, yeah, I think it's just people kind of disrespect Jaylen. Like, I think obviously Jason Tatum has more star power. He's got a little bit more of a flashier game, and Jaylen can be a bit clunky sometimes. But I do think that they're a lot closer to each other's tier than people think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're paying him like it.
Yeah,
they're paying that man.
Paid player in the league this
they're
year.
paying that man a lot of money. Oh my goodness! So Chris
gosh.
Floyd on the Sack Chat. People are yesterday got off the rails, and
Yeah,
people
sure
are
did.
trying to get this one off the rails.
Oh,
Look, we're
gosh.
trying to do a show here. Chris Floyd, when the Boston Celtics PA announcer says for 3, it sounds just like Alan scream.
We have to isolate the PA sound.
Chris
I know he was
Floyd,
like
nicely done.
KP for 3.
Nicely done, Chris Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But again, the Mavericks, they lost to the Thunder, right, in game 1.
Yeah.
And they were able to win that. I mean,
Right.
is the question, or is the thought process that the Celtics are a different beast? Look, we've seen the Mavericks this season lose game 1s.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, and no, they didn't have Porzingis or Drew Holiday. We saw the Celtics take care of business in San Francisco on the road, which was actually
Sure.
more impressive to
yes.
steal a game against the Warriors, and they still lost
Mhm.
in 6.
Yeah.
So I know it's a different team, and if Porzingis is going to stay healthy and play like this, sure, maybe it's over. But the idea that the Mavericks don't have a shot, we've seen the Mavericks take care of business after being in this position, and we've seen a version of these Celtics not take care of business after being in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, it's one game. Like, and it's going to happen after every single game. People are going to overreact to whatever they just saw most recently. But, you know, I do think it'd be a bit foolish to count Dallas out. Like, even if they go down 2-0, what does everybody already say? Like, that's just taking care of business.
Right.
It's not an actual series until somebody loses at home. And then even like you just laid out, it's still not over. You got to go play the games. Things happen. Things change so much game to game. And, people make adjustments. That's exactly what the finals is about. Game 1 is such a feeling out process. And definitely the Celtics won that feeling out process. But you got to give time for these coaches to adjust. And this is ideally where coaches are going to make their imprint. Like, this is where, if Joe Mazzulla is really going to be a coach, we talked about the top 10 coaches in the NBA yesterday. Joe Mazzulla's name was not mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a way for, I mean, if they take care of business, it probably actually won't go to Joe Mazzulla. But the chess match between Mazzulla and Jason Kidd could definitely make a difference in the series, whether it be just making it more competitive or on the other end, just rolling through. So I think there's still an adjustment to be made. I still think Dallas has a shot, but saying all this, I absolutely believe the Celtics are the best team. And I'd have to be convinced pretty. I just don't think I could be convinced actually that Dallas could win this series. I think they can make it scrappy. I think they can maybe take it 6, but I just think Boston's the better team. And if Porzingis is going to play like that, they just have too many options. We didn't even really see Derek White do it much.
They have too many defensive
JT
options.
didn't really do nothing yesterday. I mean,
Well,
nothing.
yeah, the
out
Mr.
of order.
Front Runner himself.
Man,
as soon as they're up
crazy.
20, let me start making some threes.
Nuts.
Enough with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enough. Well, I will say this, Chris. You know, as we were watching the game together last night, what impressed me was how the Celtics found a way to stop the unstoppable pick and roll with the Mavericks. But at the same time, as I say that, I wonder, again, to the Joe Mazzulla point, is this Joe Mazzulla balling out as a coach, or is this the Celtics having the requisite parts to actually do that?
Right.
Are there a bunch
The
of teams?
defensive IQ.
All the teams that lost to the
quickness.
Mavericks, are they saying, we would have loved to do that too?
Yes.
It's not something that he invented, but it's the fact that they could pull it off with the length that they have defensively.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it could be as simple as, like you said, like I'm sure Minnesota's like, we tried to do the same thing. The difference is Kristaps Porzingis is more mobile than Rudy Gobert, and Al Horford is a much better, higher IQ defender than Karl Anthony Towns. So to your point, it could literally just be that simple that Boston's just dealing Dallas is now dealing with a much higher IQ team, a much more skilled team, and frankly, I mean, just a better team. And, Luka went crazy yesterday, but I think it's clear now they're going to need more than Luka. They need Luka and Kyrie every night to go off. And then they still need what we saw in the OKC series, what we saw a bit in Minnesota. They need Derek Jones Jr. to go crazy. They need PJ Washington to have 15-plus points. They need somebody. Dante Exum was getting run again yesterday. That's how they go to Tim Hardaway Jr. That's how you know they're in desperation.
Look, we had prop talk yesterday. Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't even an option. He wasn't even an option. I forgot that man was on the roster.
Crazy. That's how I knew they were desperate.
Whatsoever.
That's how I knew they were super desperate. I was
like, crazy.
Tim, I love Tim, but come on. Yeah, but we haven't seen him in 2 weeks.
They dusted off Tim Hardaway Jr. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Kyrie situation is I know how good Kyrie is, but at the same time, there's just too many options defensively. Okay, I got to deal with Drew Holiday, and then I got to deal with Derek White, and then I got to deal with maybe a double. This is like we said, it's a candy land defensively for a coach to say, Kyrie might get us. I'll give Kyrie one game.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get his. Everybody thought, Kyrie, everybody was riding the Kyrie wave. And so was I. And I'm not off of the wave. No. But the problem is they just have too many options defensively. Yes. Kyrie might go for, and I was listening to somebody else kind of talking about this. If Kyrie played better yesterday, they still lose.
Probably.
They still lose.
Because, again, they need that third person, too. Because that's what makes
PJ
Boston so tough. That's what makes Boston so tough, is they have Jaylen Brown, who's going to get you 20+. Mm-hmm. They have Tatum, who can get you 20+, even when he's not really playing well. And then if Porzingis is going to do 18+ in the first half, what chance do you have? That's not even factoring in Derek White, who's had, a couple 5+ 3-point games. And then Drew freaking Holiday has just been an afterthought because he's just locking people down.
And he's not bad offensively.
He's not.
The whole thing with the Bucks getting rid of him, I never understood. You're acting like he's Al-Farouq Aminu. Yeah, I mean, he can do some things offensively. I think the main thing is here, it reminds me of the Kings at the end of the season because you have two dudes, right? And it's a lot easier if you're PJ Washington or Derek Jones Jr., your favorite player, Derek Jones Jr., to make shots and score the basketball when your two guys are balling and you don't necessarily need it. It's cherry on top.
Right.
But if Luka is doing his thing and Kyrie's getting locked up, as good as we've talked about PJ Washington playing, that man, maybe against other teams, but that man, and maybe I'll be wrong here, he's not going to say, I got you.
Yes.
You need a random game.
Right.
You need a PJ Washington 20 burger.
Yeah.
You need one of these guys to do something. Maybe they get it, but I wouldn't put any cheese on it. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. We have some fun with Kendrick Perkins, who roasts former teammate LeBron, complaining about LeBron making it all about him. And no, Chris won't be able to victory lap this one. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Swing into summer at the Golf and Guitars Music Festival, June 24th and 25th at Hagen Oaks Golf Course. On June 25th, enjoy the live performances Under the Stars from Craig Campbell, Corey Kent, Love and Theft, plus Ashley Cook, Mark Wills, and more. It's not just about great music and golf. It's about giving back. Proceeds go to charities supporting youth, those with disabilities, and our veterans in the greater Sacramento region. Tickets start at just $40. Don't miss out on these great nights for a great cause. Get your tickets now at golfandguitars.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year.
$5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Brown, corner three, got it! 9 3-pointers for the Celtics. The lead is 22.
You can't casually double team unexpectedly because that's been Boston so dangerous.
Brown on the steal and slam.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Nicely done.
What are you talking about?
Nicely done.
Scream!
Scream! Emil popped in, by the way, and
Yes.
and we were just chatting about the show.
Yes.
And now that I know he's in the building, Emil, if somebody's going to tell you that we were giving you a hard time about your poke bowl, so we. Yes, we're a team.
Oh,
we're a team.
Bad Boys 4.
Yes, right. That's right.
Bad Boys for life.
Bad Boys for life. But did you see? Okay, guys, seriously, Jimmy Butler. Did you see his commercial
I did.
with the bat with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith?
Yeah.
Stay away from the Kings. I don't want anything to do with that. No side quest, Jimmy. I'm not. You want to give up 18 first rounders and Keegan Murray so Jimmy can do commercials with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence?
I think that's shutting down. The second he goes to Sacramento, there's no way. There's no way
No more
anyone's going to
calls?
want him. Yeah, the phone
I don't
gets real
want
dry.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me
Yeah.
that Jimmy Butler is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, Sacramento has a great coffee scene. I'm sure Jimmy would fit right in. I'm sure he would, own his own roastery down here or something
Cool.
like that. Yeah, I'm sure.
We're going to get roasted in the first round of the playoffs, too, because Jimmy will not be available. If the Kings gave, let's say, 3 first rounders, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, the world for Jimmy Butler, and the playoffs start, and Jimmy Butler was at his
Big
coffee
face,
spot,
Yeah.
but he was injured and couldn't play in the playoffs, I'd lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
I don't even have to think that hard to try and imagine that too. I mean,
it would probably happen.
You'd say, let's do a live watch party at Big Face.
and I got to watch his tweets as the Kings are losing the playoffs.
Right.
If I was out there, stop it, Jimmy.
Stop it.
We're done.
Stop
Okay. We are done. And Kendrick Perkins is done with LeBron making everything about him. This came a little bit randomly yesterday as Kendrick was doing the pregame for the finals, and I'm here for it. This is what he had to say.
Here we go again, bro.
Here we go again, what?
Weaseling his way into somebody else's moment. Let somebody else, this is not about you. Your team is at home. This is about the Mavs and the Celtics. But yet you're so mad and disappointed that you're not Kyrie Irving running late no more. Here we go again.
That's a different story.
So this was in response to LeBron saying, I bleep and miss Kyrie as my running mate,
Right.
basically saying how much he loves Kyrie and
Right.
misses Kyrie on the Mind Game
Was
pod.
it really mind the game? Yeah, I mean,
I'm right with there with Kendrick.
Dude,
Enough, LeBron.
These freaking Celtics, man. These 08 Celtics are like the biggest haters on the planet.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
I'm hating too.
They will not forget the fact that Bron sent them home. It's crazy. I mean, I guess he's not wrong. Like, Bron is, I don't think that was his intention, but absolutely, like, you have to know.
Guess, Chris.
I mean, I don't think his intention
Yeah.
was to literally be like, this is going to 100% take over a portion of the story. I just think that's kind of that's just unfortunately for LeBron is the life of LeBron, that anything he does say is going to be turned into this. But yeah, I mean, it's topical at least. It's not like he just randomly brought it up. At least
Sure.
Kyrie is in the finals. LeBron is saying, oh yeah, the last time this fool was in the finals was with me. I just think that's Kendrick Perkins being a freaking hater.
No, well then I'm being a hater too. and Kyrie responded and he said basically LeBron knows how to make headlines and things like that.
Actually, it was on Monday. Literally the very first question of NBA Finals Media Day. Someone's asked Kyrie, "Did you hear what LeBron said?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's the first question we're gonna ask here."
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
So that must have been.
I think it was Monday.
That must have been the same answer.
It definitely might have
and
been.
later in the answer, that's when he said LeBron knows how to make headlines. I'm telling you, man. And I get it. LeBron he carries a lot of weight in anything he says, but he knows that.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
He
definitely knows it. That's why there's the Mind Game pod.
He's my bleeping teammate and this and that and my best running mate. Enough.
D Wade could never.
And then these shows make content arguing LeBron on who his best running mate was.
Yes, right.
It's insanity.
It's insane. Hey man, that's the bubble we're in, unfortunately.
But-
I mean, that is crazy.
But you know what? When it comes to
But it's content, man. Content's king.
Oh yeah, well,
Content's king.
That's not
As we
content for
sit
us.
here.
That's not content for us, right? We're talking about the fact that it's not content. We're not doing it as content, so it's different. No, it's different. It's different. But no, Chris, this is what I wanted to ask you. When it comes to face of the NBA and LeBron, how he carries, like I said, this much weight, this much gravity in anything he says. When you look at how big LeBron is, and we were talking about doing a funny game with Instagrams and how big these guys actually are, who could get to that level? Because to that level, I feel like it's only Wemby. I don't know if we'll see. Somebody else will be the next face of the NBA.
Yeah.
But I don't know when we'll see the next
LeBron.
face of the NBA that's as big as LeBron.
My question would be like, how close do you think Steph is to that?
Well, I'm counting Steph, I guess, in that group.
Yeah.
Or get rid of Steph.
Because I wouldn't have thought that Steph could reach the LeBron, even when Steph was like not at the peak of his powers. I think it was pretty clear that he was a runaway train at that point. But like, when we were in the beginning stages, like when Steph hits the OKC game winner, I'm not thinking in that moment like, oh man, like this guy could maybe actually be star power level to the actual level of LeBron. Maybe Anthony Edwards, if he keeps up like, being a public figure, being in movies, like he's so young and personable, maybe he could do it. But Wemby, like, I think that, maybe Wemby, I don't know how. We haven't really gotten to hear a lot from Wemby. I could maybe see him just because he's kind of a freak, but I think that there's so much that goes into like the character building of LeBron, and Steph obviously had like his shot that kind of took over the world. I don't know if I can forecast anybody really having that level of impact in today, especially when the league is just so full of talent. Back then they were the prominent figures. I just kind of don't know if anyone's going to be able to like solely like have the spotlight like those two did.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't even think Luka.
I don't think Luka wants it. I think Luka is more, and I think that's why Luka and Jokic are so cool with each other. I think they're more similar than we think. I don't. We know that Jokic likes the horses. I don't know if
Luka
we know
likes the beer.
Right. What his vice is in the hookah Luka, right? And so Hookah Doncic. So his vices are a little bit, different than Jokic's vices. So I don't know how much he wants that, and you have to want it. My point, the whole thing with LeBron is he likes this.
He loves it.
He likes the fact that now they're talking about it. He likes the fact that we're talking about it. Yeah. He likes it. Yeah. So even if he's not doing it on purpose, I feel like because he likes it, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I frankly, maybe this is a conversation too of like, I mean, LeBron's quite literally of a different generation where, Bron, when Bron was a kid, like, again, social media didn't exist. There wasn't spotlight on you from the time. I mean, LeBron had a spotlight on him from the time he was 12, but like, I think by the time these guys get to the NBA, they're almost like media drained. They're like, I've been interviewing with, Ball is life since I was 13 years old. Like, I don't really care for this side of it.
Right.
I'm here to ball, and I actually think the media is annoying. I think they're a hindrance. I understand endorsements and all that's great, but I do think that, like, media and wanting to be a part and being, like you said, LeBron likes to be a part of the conversation. I don't think guys enjoy turning on First Take and seeing them as the main topic. I feel like
some do, some
that
don't.
Is kind of gone.
Yeah.
At least with the mega stars, Chris, I feel like they almost view it as like, I don't want that level.
I don't know if it was Ball is Life or who it was, but I saw this player, or I thought, okay, this guy looks like a player, and he's interviewing someone, right? And then I Google him. This was a high schooler, and I believe it was for overtime. Mm-hmm. They had a high schooler. This high schooler, obviously going to be a draft pick later. Sure. I can't remember his name. He was doing a podcast interviewing NBA players. It's insanity.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Real quick before
that's almost disgusting.
I know.
Verging on the point of like, okay, we are manipulating this NIL.
What's up, y'all? I'm thinking, who the heck is this? Yeah. And then I Google it. He's a senior in high school, and he's a top recruit.
Right.
Before we get to the other side, I did want to say this. Yeah. Okay. And I do want to say this. When it comes to this whole old media thing, all right, and everybody says, oh, radio this or radio that. All these guys that have podcasts, all these players that have podcasts, they talk about old media versus new media. I'll tell you this much. It's Chris Paul a couple days ago, and now it's Josh Hart. They come a-running when ESPN comes calling. So that whole old media versus new media, I don't see y'all turning it down. I just wanted to say that. Coming up next, we talk about the Celtics model and is it possible to replicate it? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
It's Dasha, hit your boots, stop working, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club and Xfinity.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. Now, Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 7124.
Make a great deal at Maida.
Irving's going to hear the booze pretty much every time he touches it. That one off the side of the backboard. Tatum to Peyton Pritchard, who just checked in. Porzingis way outside, knocks down another. Irving blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Holiday, Hauser, three-pointer. It's a Celtic avalanche here in the first quarter, a 17-point lead.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
1 o'clock, your chance to win David Spade tickets. I will pick the number. So if you win, thank me. If you lose, blame me. That is all courtesy of Live Nation and, of course, Sacktown Sports. November 22nd. At Hard Rock Live. For more information, visit SacktownSports.com. That is at 1 o'clock. We start our Kings specific talk at 11 and 15 minutes. What is the weak link with the Kings? We'll also discuss that bad man in Utah and whether or not he is someone the Kings should go after. Want to talk about replicating the Celtics model, which a lot of people say is not possible. But before we do that, Chris kind of buried the lead here. I've been talking about this for months, and I got to tell you the story.
Okay.
So the Kobe's came out today, the girl dads, and I've been wanting these shoes for a very long time. They were releasing today. I said,
I legitimately think you were talking about them the first day we met.
The first day we met. I said, oh, you're into shoes? Well, I need these shoes, right?
I swear.
So I basically, not to get too in the weeds, basically, there are two types of ways to, and it's funny when you say win shoes, that's how Nike has manipulated us. Please take my money. And it's either a draw or you just get put in line.
Right.
So basically, I assumed all the other Kobe's had been draws. So I thought it was a draw. So I put it on Instagram. I put it on Twitter. I said, please help me because I've never won Kobe's before. Right. I've never won Kobe's before.
I mean, yeah, they're super restricted.
Never, right? So I made my wife download the sneaker app. I made my mama download the sneaker app. My daughter, I bought her a phone to get the sneaker app, to get these shoes, okay? So everybody, I had my army out this morning to get the shoes. So I put in for the shoes, and who do I get a text from? Former coworker and now friend, Joe.
No way.
He hops on, he saw it on Twitter.
Joe Giroux?
Joe Giroux got the shoes. So
No
now,
way.
so I'm
Oh,
thinking,
yeah.
oh
Of
shoot,
course, yeah.
Joe got the shoes.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, I got the phone, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't need them. My wife has the phone, I get the shoes. So now I have the shoes, I hit. So I have the shoes, Joe has the shoes, and I'm looking at my wife's phone, I'm thinking, please don't hit, please don't hit. And we have a bunch of these shoes.
$360.
All these shoes, and I'm on the hook for all these shoes. So she didn't hit, I hit.
You've never been so happy that
And
you
then
didn't
I'm
hit,
talking
yeah.
with Joe, and I'm thinking, hey, man,
Congrats.
thanks for getting the shoes. And Joe don't wear no size 10. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what is Joe going to do with these shoes? And luckily, he saw, hey, there's an option to cancel. So I'm just going to cancel the order.
I was going to say.
So Joe wasn't on the hook.
Joe could probably.
He could have flipped them. He could have flipped them if he wanted. But shout out to Joe for putting in for the
absolutely. That's
shoes. And
incredible.
I got the shoes. They are secured. I have no clue. I'm looking up the resale just because I have no clue. I'm not going to sell them.
Right.
I also don't know.
You just want to know, like,
if I'm
if
going
it's safe
to
to wear them.
them.
Yes, exactly.
Am I going
was
to
curious.
wear them or not? I have no clue.
Okay.
I have no clue. But yes, finally.
Special occasions, when you're on a court indoors.
That's right.
Definitely
Definitely
take them on and
indoors.
off. Don't get.
Yes.
Courtside
I don't
style.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Courtside style. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I had to.
Is that
tell
the
you
first
guys.
time you've ever hit? So you did the drawing, right? You didn't get
Technically,
in line.
No,
Or
there
you-
was no drawing today,
Oh, okay,
so I've
so you
still
just had to
never
get
hit
in
on a draw.
Yes,
Because
that's what I was going to say. I'm like,
put you in line.
two people hitting on one draw
Yeah.
is quite literally almost like winning.
It wasn't
the
a draw
lottery.
for whatever reason. I guess maybe they weren't as sought after. They were the only Kobe's that I've seen that weren't draws. But
Yeah.
thank you, Joe, for trying. And to anybody else who tried, I have a buddy. He's got twin girls, and he tried. He didn't hit, but his wife did. So I was happy that he got some shoes. We got everybody out here, Simone.
And you're in a good mood.
I'm in a great
It's
mood.
a fantastic morning.
That's
if
right.
you're
It is
hitting on the app.
definitely a happy Friday for me. And all right, let's get to whether or not you can replicate the Celtics model. But before that, wanted to play this Stephen A sound, and it's an ice cold take on Porzingis. We will get to that in a second. But Chris, initially, okay, let's get through the actual model of the Celtics.
Okay.
You have two really good wings, okay? And then you have a really good point guard. I mean, is Drew Holiday even their point guard?
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely be.
I don't know how much he handles. He doesn't how much he
they have
handles
Tatum
the
bring the ball
ball,
down for sure.
but he is the
Or
point
Derek
guard
White,
position.
but yeah.
So you have two elite wings. Okay, you have a defensive focused point guard. All right, you have a grizzled center in Al Horford.
Yeah.
All right, and
Stretch
then
the floor.
and then
High
and
fast
when Al
forward,
Horford doesn't normally start, it would be Porzingis.
Right.
So let's say Porzingis. So you have two defensive focus, long. Well, Derek White's long. I don't know how long Drew Holiday is. He's just a pest. Two elite wings and a unicorn at center.
Yeah, I think the main thing is their two forwards, though. I mean, that's how they've built this thing out. This year's specific team is what it is. Again, I don't know how realistic it is to try and build this squad because it's just about perfect, and they had to get rid of other really good players in order to get this collection of really good players. So I think the main model is mainly one that I have been shouting for years, and I'm going to continue to shout about it. Get two forwards, get two elite forwards, and that is seriously one of the toughest things to guard in basketball. It's the reason why the second Kawhi Leonard and Paul George teamed up together, everyone said this is over. Like they're going to win 6 championships because if you have two guys who are big man sized but have guard skills and are in between 6'8", 6'9" body,
right?
There's not a lot of guys who can stop that. There's not a lot of guys who have the fluidity. A lot of guys who are that big. I always use the Morris twins as an example. They play like that. They play like Trey Lyles, a little bit slower, a little more clunky, a little less fluid, and yet Trey Lyles and Paul George are kind of the same height. And so I think if you can find guys who are 6'7", like Jaylen Brown is, if you can get a guy who's 6'8" and then grows to 6'10", like Jason Tatum, to me, though, that's the forwards are always the guys that I'm going to go. I'm going to lean towards. I mean, look at LeBron James, obviously. Look at Kevin Durant. Some of the best players, especially of this generation with Steph Curry to the side, have been at that forward position. And I think it's because, again, you have the ability to have guard skill sets, but in a big man's body. And that's just so tough to stop. I mean, you can, on the other end, you can guard just about everybody too.
But Chris, this is how it comes back to the draft, okay? Because I don't know how you can watch the finals yesterday and go out and draft a 6'2" guard. I just don't know why you do that.
I agree. I mean, especially when you already have a point guard.
Right.
Yes, if you didn't have a point guard, then
sure.
But you cannot play two guys, I don't think, who are 6'5" and under.
Even if I didn't have a point guard, depending on what my trade assets are, I would still just find I guess what I'm saying is, at this point in time, I'm not going to say that point guards and running backs are the same, but unless you have a dude,
I mean, to an extent,
if you don't have a dude, then you're again Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
He's a dude as far as the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, hey, don't leave him open. He might burn you, but you're not winning and losing because of Drew Holiday's offense. You don't need it in that same way. So when I look at the point guard position right now, I'm just not high on it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to properly phrase it, but really I think I like the running back comparison more in the sense of there's so many good ones that the value is ruined because they're a dime a dozen. You can draft a good point guard. They come into the league immediately, and I think, to your point, like, yes, De'Aaron Fox is fantastic. Maybe De'Aaron's not the right example, but like, maybe whatever.
He's close.
We'll use
it. Close.
Like, what is really? We know De'Aaron Fox is, I would say, unquestionably a better player than Darius Garland. But what really is that gap doing for you? Whereas Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, they're really good, but the gap from Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is massive. The jump from those two guys to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is massive. And I think that's represented in their team play and in their winning. I mean, I'm not saying it's the end all be all. I mean, of course Anthony Edwards is definitely more of a guard than he is a forward, but yet he still does have a lot of forward skill sets. He is really, really strong, really muscular, really easily able to get to the rim. I just wholeheartedly believe that, I mean, it's a league of giants. It's a league of people who are 6 feet and above, and the guys who are giants amongst the giants tend to stick out and tend to have the biggest impact. Steph Curry, to me, he's the exception. He's not the rule. He's not the way that the NBA is trending. He is a one of one unicorn that there is no precedent for beforehand. And I know the league has become a lot more 3-point dominant, but Kyrie Irving is a fantastic point guard. Some say, whatever, top 5 point guard of all time. That's a whole different conversation. Completely different conversation. But Kyrie Irving hasn't led a team to anywhere.
Look at Dame.
He's been the second fiddle.
Look at Dame
Lillard. Absolutely.
Look at Dame.
He's as close to Steph as you can get.
Exactly.
And how close did they get by getting swept in the conference finals?
I do not understand.
You can't have a guard lead
at this point in time why you are, unless it's an extremely specific need. Devin Carter flying up draft boards makes no sense to me.
Unless you don't have a point guard already.
Unless you don't have a point guard already, and you are not planning on winning in the near future.
Or you're just accepting he's your backup.
Exactly.
Or like he could maybe be a Derek White.
And maybe that will be a cold take for me. That's no disrespect to Devin Carter. Speaking of cold takes, we get to Stephen A's cold take on Porzingis when we return. Also, what is the weak link with the Sacramento Kings? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Father's Day at Hagen Oaks is sure to bring a smile to the man in your life. From shoes to shirts, from golf balls to golf bags, and from drivers to divot repair tools, Hagen Oaks has all this and so much more, including gift certificates for the father who has it all. Let Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop be your one-stop for all your Father's Day needs. You'll even find the wildly popular Golf and Guitars concert tickets on sale. It's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or HagenOaks.com.
It's Kyle Draper here to let you know that the famous Bay Area Pizza Company, Amici's East Coast Pizzeria, has just opened its first location in Sacramento, offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. To check out the menu and order online, visit Amici's.com and click on the Sacramento banner. As a special deal, all this week, when you enter promo code SAC50 at checkout, they'll give you 50% off any large pizza. So when you want to enjoy half-price pizzas with family and friends this week, use promo code SAC50 at Amici's.com and Amici's delivers.
Sacramento, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. First up, at Thunder Valley, June 12th, experience the legendary Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello. Then on June 14th, don't miss the incredible Maren Morris. And on June 22nd, don't miss NSYNC and Backstreet stars Joey Fatone and AJ McLean bringing back the hits. Plus, on June 28th, it's country legend Lee Brice lighting up the stage. All at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. And now here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donny Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Hey sports fans, it's JaVale McGee here. Are you ready for the event of the summer? It's the Jug Life Charity Softball Game hosted at Sutter Health Park on Saturday, June 15th. Join me and all my celebrity friends for the #1 event of the summer as our incredible community comes together for a cause that counts. The Jug Life Charity Softball Game isn't just about softball. It's about giving back. All proceeds go to the water education programs and providing clean water to communities in need. Thanks to your support, our team with Jug Life is making a real difference, bringing hope and health to those who need it the most. Bring your family and friends for a day you won't forget. Cheer on your favorite stars as they hit it out the park for a great cause. Come celebrate Father's Day weekend at the Jug Life Charity Softball Game that's happening on Saturday, June 15th. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at juglifewater.com. That's juglifewater.com. Join us, have fun, and make a difference. Jug Life. Drink water, give water, save water.
Get ready for the Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. This is your chance to make it a summer to remember with incredible deals on select 2024 Sportage and Sorento vehicles. Kia Vacaville is offering an amazing 1.9% APR for up to 48 months for well-qualified buyers. Or you'll get $1,000 bonus cash on specialty tag 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. It's the perfect time to upgrade your ride and start your summer adventures. Imagine cruising down the highway in your new Kia from Kia Vacaville, enjoying the advanced features and comfort of the Sportage or Sorento. Whether you're planning a road trip or just driving around town, these vehicles are designed to elevate your experience. But don't wait too long. These unbeatable deals won't last forever. Your adventure starts now at Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit them today and find the perfect vehicle for your summer plans. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Text line, Sack Chat talking about they can't wait for De'Aaron to release his first signature shoe. Yeah, I'm very interested on how they look. And then there was a little, I don't know if drama is the right word, but the pictures that came out, were those De'Aaron's shoes or not? Then they got pulled off the internet. Yeah, I'm interested. I think they're supposed to come out this summer, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't know how much pre-release hype they've really given to it, but yeah, I think it's supposed to come out this summer. If not, maybe more towards the basketball season. And I'm wondering how many colorways we're going to get. Like, we better get a Kings colorway.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
I think that'll be the first one.
Crazier things, because De'Aaron had a Nike shoe that was the Swipe of Ones, and it was like orange, brown. It was like it looked like some Air Max.
But then we got rain now too, and then that coincides with the royalty. Yes, so we're gonna get something nice.
Before we get into the weak link with the Kings, just to have some fun, here is Stephen A's now freezing cold take on Porzingis.
Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks passed up on at least 4 dudes who are NBA ready now. You got Willie Cauley-Stein. You passed up on him. You got Justice Winslow, who I think is the steal of the draft. You passed up on him, okay? Stanley Roberts out of Arizona. You passed up on him. New York Knicks fans were at the Barclays Center booing because we recognize that we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived by Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks.
That is so classic Stephen A, because I'm pretty sure he just called Stanley Johnson Stanley Roberts. And Stanley Roberts is at least a former NBA player. Let me see here. Stanley Roberts played like 6 seasons in the NBA. Never heard of him a day in my life, but that is so Stephen A to, even in a freezing takes exposed, completely butcher a top 10 draft pick's name. And while talking about the people that the New York Knickerbockers
that sounds like an awful
obviously
draft.
should have taken.
Yeah, that was an awful
Willie
draft.
Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, that sounds
Sacramento's
like a
very own.
terrible draft. And I mean, I do wonder though how cold it actually was. I mean, when you talk about timelines, yeah, if you put Porzingis, he still tends to get injured a decent bit. He was injured a decent amount of this season. So it's a cold take today, but I don't know how freezing it's a cold take, but at the same time, it doesn't sound like there were any good options there. And if and it didn't work out, I guess it's only a cold take if it worked out with the Knicks, right?
No, I mean, his argument was that Porzingis sucked. He was like, we just took another Dragan Bender. Like, we took a guy who's especially at this time, a soft European who isn't going to be able, he's a shooter. People think he's Dirk.
Right.
But in actuality, he's just going to be another, Poku. And even though Poku wasn't around at the time, like, I think Stephen A. I even remember at the time, I mean, there was a lot of questions about Porzingis because the last time we had really seen a prospect get the level of hype Porzingis was getting, and even Porzingis' hype was way more. He was taking 4, but didn't have real clarity on the level of competition, was Giannis. And Giannis was taking, 14 or something like that in that draft. And even then it took a couple years. And so people were like, Kristaps, like, what is this guy? He's, Latvian. Like, we've never had any star from over there.
He looked fresh walking into the building last night, though.
He looked great.
You smashed the over. Somebody comes in looking that fresh.
You know what's also hilarious, too? I'm looking at this draft. Stephen A. didn't mention that. I mean, not this is hindsight 2020, but like Devin Booker wasn't a name that was said. Devin Booker was taken 13th by Phoenix. I mean, he probably
13th,
listed,
13th. Who went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
This was Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Jahlil Okafor, Kristaps Porzingis, Mario Hezonja, Willie Cauley-Stein at 6, Emmanuel Mudiay at 7 to Denver, Stanley Johnson or Stanley Robbins or whatever Stephen A. called him.
Terrible draft.
At number 8 to Detroit. Number 9, Frank the Tank Kaminsky, and number 10 was Justice Winslow. Number 11.
What year was that?
This is 2015. Actually, we have a King in here as well. 11, Miles Turner to Indy. Number 13, like I said, Devin Booker. Number 12 to Utah, Trey Lyles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a terrible draft.
Not great.
I think sometimes I forget that Karl Anthony Towns went number 1.
I mean, he was a monster at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I remember that season at Kentucky. I mean, it was him, Willie. I think they had the Harrison twins still. Yeah, I mean, and Karl Anthony Towns, he was, you want to talk about not living up to expectations? I mean, he's definitely not a bust, but there was a lot of Tim Duncan comps to Karl Anthony Towns. He was supposed to be this offensive juggernaut who could give it to you in the post, but had the new age best shooting big man of all time. But also he was supposed to be a monster on defense. He was supposed to be a defensive anchor at center, and he's definitely an anchor, all right, but not for the good reasons.
What is your problem with Karl Anthony Towns?
He's like good, but not great. I mean, he was the number one pick. Again, he had all of this hype going into it, and he's just like he has all the talent in the world. That's the problem. He's one of these people who could be the best player in the NBA. I just don't know how hard he works. He's also just very soft. Like he is not. He's huge. He is listed. What is he listed as? Even he's listed as 7 foot 250. And he never once throws his weight around.
He's 28.
So he's
got time.
Right in the middle of his prime.
He's right in the middle of his prime.
He's just.
Are you calling him the B word?
No.
Are you calling him
that's
a
what I
bust?
said. But also I will say playoff numbers, again, when your numbers go down in the playoffs, that's crazy.
That was bad.
But even for his career, 17-18, his first time in the playoffs, 15 points a game, 21 points a game, 18 points a game, 19 points a game. This guy's supposed to be if you're a star, you're supposed to elevate your game in the playoffs, not take a back seat, but also not get worse. I just, and I honestly was higher on Karl Anthony Towns for a while. But you think Jason Ross is not it's the only person I've actually heard Jason Ross say, like, I'm out. I'm good.
In the world.
It's the only time I've ever heard Jason Ross say even the slightest negative thing about a person.
Yeah, that's pretty disparaging. That's like a huge.
I had to check.
That's not
I was bigger on Cat at that time, and then
but can we just make it known his PR has been pretty bad,
and I think
that affects it. The voice changing.
Oh, stop.
No, hold on.
That was so after
Chris,
all of this.
People don't like Karl Anthony Towns for some reason. They don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't mind Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's funny.
The basketball player or like or both?
Both. I would welcome Karl Anthony Towns.
The person's a little cheesy, welcome him? Corny, cringe.
Would you welcome him? For sure.
After all that?
Would I welcome him in Sacramento? For sure.
Absolutely. It would be amazing.
My drink back here?
I would.
Yeah,
yes,
sure. He's crazy talented. Absolutely. But the problem again becomes, there's a lot of like modern day Chris Webber comparisons where it's like, brother, again, you have all the talent in the world, and yet there's a Kevin Garnett out there. There's a Tim Duncan out. There's a lot of people who seem to have overstepped you when you had pretty much the world laid out for you, and you just never really seized it. And so I think he's good. He's really good. But I think the problem is he should be a whole lot better. And there's just a lot of talent that seems to be left on the table where there's other guys who seem to be getting every single ounce of talent.
Now we're going Fiery Friday.
Sure.
And I don't even know how we got here.
A fiesta.
But whenever I know something bugs you, then I decide to kind of dig into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask
doesn't really bother me, though.
Okay, but this is what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
If Karl Anthony Towns was on the table, because everyone's saying honestly, we should be talking about it more.
No, we definitely should.
You know who the name I'm going to say?
Keegan.
If it could get it done.
It's definitely a talent upgrade. I mean, let's explore it. Yeah, it's definitely a talent upgrade for sure immediately. I would also say it's a really good fit at the 4 next to Sabonis for sure. I would welcome it, definitely. I would not like get overly excited and say, oh, Kings championship contender. I would still say there's probably you wouldn't need another star, but you would probably still need somebody else to pick up where Cat is probably at some point going to, have an off game. You're going to still need like a PJ Washington or somebody like that.
And on the other side, when we look at what teams would want or what teams would need, would the Timberwolves want Keegan Murray, or how would he fit? I'm just thinking. I feel like he would, because they need off
established.
Probably
because I think I still will forever champion like Trae Young for Cat. makes all the sense in the world for me. Just because it's two distressed assets that are like really good. They have crazy numbers, but the numbers do not actually reflect impact. But there's something there with both of them.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I would even say, and Mike Conley can't play forever either.
No.
I would even say Kevin Huerter would be someone they would be interested in just because their offense was essentially their weak spot this season.
For sure. Yeah, they could use a shooter.
Yeah, so if it was Keegan and Kevin for Cat,
they would probably want more. They would want to pick.
Sure.
Like they think Cat
I'm just
is
saying
still,
player-wise. I'm just saying player-wise.
Yeah.
And again,
I would hope that would be enough.
Who knows, but they're definitely salary just off the top of my head. After all that, we had to have the conversation. Coming up next, we have the conversation on what is the weak link with the Kings. After that bad man in Utah, should the Kings go after him? We discuss. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make this switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
One o'clock, David Spade, America's sweetheart, returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And, of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. I will pick the number. I'll give you a hint. It won't be number 4 because we already did that. And what's the limit? Simone, what would you say is the limit for it to be annoying?
You guys talking about this yesterday.
Oh, did you?
And I know David has picked like 10 and really obscene numbers like that. I would say, if we get past 8, it's a little uncomfortable.
All right, I won't do that to you. That is at 1 p.m. as we get into the conversation as far as the weak link with the Sacramento Kings. And honestly, to open up the phone lines here, 916-339-1140, because, during the break, Chris was asking, hey, is this a player? Is this a philosophy? The answer is all of the above. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. What is the weak link with the Kings? Off the top of my head, Chris, and we can go around the room. I know somebody's going to say they shoot too many threes. I know somebody is typing. I can guarantee you somebody is typing that up right now.
And missing free throws.
And if you're going to send it in, please put your name on it. Off the top of my head, Chris, I would say the weak link, and I don't know, maybe this is a cop-out, it's just a talent. It's just
you want to hear
talent.
what my answer is? Yeah. They're missing like an actual star.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
Or you mean a third star?
No, I said what I said. I think like they're missing like the Luka. They're missing the person who is in the top. If we're talking about championship contender and why the Kings aren't actually like a championship contender right here, right now, you can build out a situation to where, you have enough pieces to where the collective outweighs the single, but the easiest way to get to the finals is by having a single. You have a LeBron, you have a Steph, you have a Luka, you have a Jokic, you have a Giannis, you have, even to an extent, a Jason Tatum. I think that there's levels to the star power that you need to have, but we love De'Aaron Fox. We love Domantas Sabonis. Those guys are top 25, but they're a lot closer to 25 than they are to 1.
But to your point, though, you don't need the stud, and I don't want to disrespect Jason Tatum here, but Jason Tatum isn't top 10 to me.
I think he's close to 10 if he's not.
Sure,
10.
but look at who he's surrounded by.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have 2 guys that are closer to 25 than to 1, that's cool.
Yeah.
But the other 3 players cannot be Harrison Barnes. It cannot be
but I think
Keegan Murray still trying to grow and an invisible Kevin Huerter.
I think you start to reach towards, like, not you, but like that starts, because every fan is, I think it starts to reach towards fantasy land where it's like, yeah, everybody wants to build a perfect 5.
Yeah.
But nobody ends up actually doing it. Like if that were the case, we would have more actual teams competing at the end of this thing. And we don't. More times than not, it's the stars. It's star power. It's maybe a cool system like the Knicks. The Knicks had a different way of playing. The Pacers had a different way of playing. Maybe that's how you make up for it. But even then, they're not playing right now. I think at the end of the day, NBA has always been a star-driven league. The best players in the NBA always end up winning the title. I just don't think at the end of the day, the Kings have one of the best players in the NBA. The closest they got was, of course, in the early 2000s. They had a great team. You could argue Chris Webber, top 10, top 15 player, absolutely. They had what you were kind of describing, a perfect unit around him to uplift it. We know what happened, and obviously they should have won, but like even then, they still were eclipsed by the team that had 2 stars.
And somebody else is going to say the Detroit Pistons because everybody's going to say the Pistons.
Sure. And that was one season. That was one miracle season
long time ago.
In which the Lakers had Karl Malone and Gary Payton added that season. They both got hurt. There was a lot. And Shaq and Kobe quite literally hated each other.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that went into that.
Katie Vieira on the Sack Chat is saying Jason Tatum's first team All-NBA. Look at his averages. Y'all are tripping. That would be me tripping, Katie. Chris is agreeing that he is one of those guys.
Yeah.
And my argument was more so look at the talent that he has around him.
For
if
sure.
he's not top 5 or whatever.
That's what makes them lethal, though, is they have both. They have
exactly
the one, or you can maybe, again, Jaylen Brown's getting the short end of the stick here. He's top 25, absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, they have the one and they have the team around them. That's what makes the Celtics head and shoulders the best team in this NBA.
Right. Let's say it a different way. This is also what you guys are saying. He doesn't have to in this series, and you could say arguably in the postseason, he hasn't had to be that guy.
No.
And that's how complete they are.
Yes. And maybe that is what is, I guess, blinding me from the fact that if he did need to be that guy and have that high usage, maybe I wouldn't be complaining. And to Katie's point, if he's averaging 27, 8, and 5, and his usage isn't a Luka type usage, then
what would it be if it were?
What would it be if it were? From the 916, the weak link on the Kings is not something you can put your finger on because it's not tangible. It's a decade of incompetence and losing. And there's just an undercurrent of loser mentality that permeates every corner of this organization. Welcome to basketball hell.
Damn.
That's crazy,
that
916.
Like, brother, you come on.
Someone did not get the Kobe's today. Someone did not get the Kobe.
Sometimes I do not. And it just kept getting darker and darker as I was reading.
It's going to be okay.
It's Friday.
Gonna be okay.
It's Friday, but
It's
thank
really
you.
okay.
No, hey, that's how you
it's
feel.
like you pick up the couches, the cushions, loser mentality.
Yeah,
It's
everywhere.
just all over the place.
John Taffer, it's a bunch of losers.
It's a bunch of losers.
It's a bunch of
losers on your wall.
I always forget we have
916. You need to watch that episode of Bar Rescue.
You know what? I'm also not like JaVale did kind of point to that for sure. Like I think that I don't say it's loser mentality, but I do think there's a transition of philosophy, not philosophy, but like I think that there's a transition period of figuring out, again, like JaVale laid out, barely beating San Antonio is not good enough.
Right.
Slipping into the play-in is not good enough.
No. standard.
Yeah,
You're still trying to build
transition of standard.
Yes,
Beautiful.
they're still trying to build a standard.
Yes, but they are learning.
Culture. Yes,
they're not going in the opposite direction as that seems to imply.
Can you retract that?
we need. Okay, I got you. I got you. The weak link on the Kings is not something you can put your finger on because it's not tangible. It's a decade of incompetence and losing, and there's just an undercurrent of loser mentality that permeates every corner of this organization. Welcome to basketball hell.
Katie
Hello,
Vieira.
darkness, my old friend.
Katie Vieira on the SAC chat said, "Why is Rudy Gay texting in right now?"
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know if this person is a writer, but that was beautifully written.
Beautifully
written.
Yes.
And it's text, so it's probably on your phone. I mean, that's beautifully written.
And again, I'm not even saying you're wrong. I just think that's a little.
Well, they're going in the other direction.
Yes.
From the 916, rotational defense is always lacking. That's from Manny. From the 916 as well.
IQ.
Kevin Herter isn't just invisible; he's a defensive liability and target for other teams.
Yeah, I mean, if we just want, that's definitely like a more micro version of what we're talking about for sure. If we want to do like the micro, who are the weak links and not the big picture organization of ineptitude or whatever,
right?
Then like Kevin Herter's defense definitely is tough to deal with.
That was from when I said you can't have an invisible Kevin Herter along with the Harrison Barnes.
Gotcha.
And to pair with two guys that are closer to 25 than they are to one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. It's Kevin Herter. It's Harrison Barnes. It's things that we've already kind of gone through and discussed before at length. But still they need more depth too. Like, of course, Malik is great, but hoping that Davion continues to perform well and shoot the ball well. We saw. I mean, he took major steps at the end of the year, but I'm not still fully sold that that's just going to be the guy that we see moving forward in his career. So I still think that the bench is kind of just lacking in overall pop. I think Malik did a lot of massaging of how bad the bench actually was. So, like you said, I think just saying overall talent really is the answer.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that simple. Coming up next, there is a team going after that bad man in Utah, but for now, it's not the Kings. Should it be? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I'm surprised at how many players wait too long to have their golf clubs regripped. I'll pick up my playing partner's clubs when they're left near the green, and that's when I notice that some of the problems in their games could be attributed to worn golf grips. If yours are shiny or worn when you play, you're probably gripping the club too strongly for fear of losing it during a swing. The golf grip is your connection to the club, and fresh grips let you hold the club lightly, promoting proper swing mechanics and swing action. Many of us simply replace the grips with the same product that was on the club, but with so many different types of materials, colors, tackiness, softness, and more, you'll find plenty of sizes and colors to fit your game and your personality. Your local pro shop or club fitter can re-grip your clubs, or you can purchase a kit and do it yourself. Either way, re-gripping once a year is an inexpensive and fast way to bring a noticeable change to your game and to give your clubs that new club feel. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Paige Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club and Xfinity.
Swing into summer at the Golf and Guitars Music Festival, June 24th and 25th at Hagen Oaks Golf Course. On June 25th, enjoy the live performances Under the Stars from Craig Campbell, Corey Kent, Love and Theft, plus Ashley Cook, Mark Wills, and more. It's not just about great music and golf. It's about giving back. Proceeds go to charities supporting youth, those with disabilities, and our veterans in the greater Sacramento region. Tickets start at just $40. Don't miss out on these great nights for a great cause. Get your tickets now at golfandguitars.com.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from. Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
TBO for details. N7120.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
That K Tronada new album is out today. I've been listening to it all day long, or all morning long, I should say. Well, I listened to it last night. And new Thames album as well to get the island vibes right for the weekend. So I am all set there. And Chris, the Spurs are trying to be all set as they are now the favorites to land Lauri Markkanen if Utah decides to trade him. That is per Bovada. Also with the Spurs, and this connects back to Malik Monk, the Spurs are also reportedly interested in Darius Garland. That is from Sam Amico. And that isn't really bad in terms of Malik Monk, because that's a landing spot. We've talked about Malik and Wembanyama. So if they're interested in Darius Garland, I would think that takes him out of the Malik Monk sweepstakes. So that would be one team. So Spurs, go get, hey, Darius Garland's a good player.
Yeah.
Spurs, go get Darius Garland. But back to Lauri Markkanen, Chris.
Yes.
A name that we haven't talked about a lot. Now, earlier, really during the season when this conversation came up, you spoke about how Lauri Markkanen, maybe the fit wasn't perfect, or maybe there would be some redundancy with Sabonis. And I'm curious, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you didn't say that.
I don't remember exactly saying. I wasn't as high as on Lauri as like I think Brendan's really high.
To give up the farm on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a really good player. I think he's definitely benefiting from being the main guy out in Utah. I don't know if he's necessarily like a 25-point per game scorer, like an all-star every season, like kind of he's played like here recently. Yeah, I don't know if it's kind of, I mean, it's a different version of Kyle Kuzma. I think he's a better player than Kyle Kuzma, a lot more useful, but offensively. But I still think you have a lot of the same issues. I think you defensively, like he's not really solving your rim protection issue. He's a great fit on offense. He's a fantastic shooter. He's a great scorer in general. He'd fit in great on that side of the ball, but I don't necessarily know if that's going to be good enough to beat the Timberwolves in the playoffs.
Would you put Lauri Markkanen, and if both of these guys are made available, Lauri Markkanen and Cat, would you put them in the same category? Would you put one over the other in terms of their fit with the Kings?
They're probably about the same. I mean, yeah, they pretty much do the same thing, right? Like they're both the best shooting bigs in the NBA, and both probably put up around the same numbers. Cat's probably even a better defender or a better rebounder than Markkanen is. They're the same tier of player to me. I think they would have the same level of impact, which is definitely still something. I just don't know, especially like considering what you might have to give up for Lauri. I mean, Utah and freaking Danny Ainge more specifically.
Right.
That man he literally does not lose trades. He makes it a sticking point to say, no, if we're going to do a trade, I'm going to receive endless draft picks. As many as you can give us, we will take. So I just kind of feel like doing a deal for Lauri where I think he's making like $24 million a year. He's only making
an 18.
incredible contract.
He's only making 18, but it is
broken.
The one reason they might move him, as much as they're saying they don't want to, because everyone's going to say that right now to keep leverage. The one reason they might move him is because it is an expiring deal.
Yeah. And who knows if he's going to re-up there, right?
I don't know why he would.
Right. Except for they can offer him, hey, you can still be the number one. You can still be the face of the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
But I don't know where you're going if Lauri Markkanen's your best player. It feels like, maybe a 10 seed is about the best you can do, depending on who you surround him with. But, he's good. He's not phenomenal. I don't think he's made an all-NBA team, but he's definitely an all-star caliber player. I don't think he's necessarily a solution. I think he definitely is a really big talent upgrade, but ultimately I still think if you're hoping Lauri Markkanen's going to come in and change everything, I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I also feel the same way about Kyle Kuzma and everybody else as well. But
so you don't think one move, okay, let's say if they find a way to get Lauri Markkanen and you still keep Keegan, which I don't know that the Jazz would allow that, but let's just play the game.
Sure.
Hey, here's 15 first-round picks, whatever, and we're getting Lauri Markkanen. We are keeping Malik Monk, and we still have Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
That doesn't move you.
I mean, that's different. Yeah, that's completely different. I'm just viewing a Lauri, Fox, a bonus, and then scraps. Like that's what I was.
You're
that's
assuming
what I was
that
assuming.
it's. Yeah. You're assuming that Keegan is gone.
Yeah, pretty much
in a deal
Lauri trade
for Lauri.
Yes, because like I said, that man Danny Ainge is a monster, and there's just no way that you're going to trade, especially if Lauri's on an $18 million contract. Like that's ultimate leverage for Utah. They're going to say like you quite literally will not find a better deal in basketball today than this all-star potential all-NBA level
But it's a
player.
1-year deal, though.
It is. It definitely is, but still the ability to have him on that deal and then potentially sign him moving forward. I think there's still – I could be wrong unless he enters free agency, but if you're going to re-sign him, there might be a cap on exactly how much you can elevate his salary to a certain level. So, I think there might be some more that goes into that. But I still think that you're not going to find a guy. He's getting paid less than Kyle Kuzma. So I just don't know if you could realistically get Lauri Markkanen for anything that could possibly even potentially be viewed as at market value. I think you're going to have to overpay to get him because also Utah is not incentivized. The only, like you said, the only real incentive they have is he might walk. And even then Utah is probably saying, okay, so we go from 500 or a couple games above to, now we're officially kind of in a rebuild. And again, we have 700 draft picks to rebuild with.
23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 48% shooting. That was Lauri Markkanen's averages in 2023, 2024. But if you've been really big on, and it's the same with, I think the Jeremy Grant situation, hey, I don't know how that translates when you're just cooking on a bad team. I don't know how that I mean, Colin Sexton had ridiculous numbers this season, and I don't know what to really do with that. Is that 17 points on a Kings team and 5 rebounds because Sabonis is going to swallow up all the rebounds? I think that if you can, and we'll get into Malik Monk a little bit later, if you can keep Malik Monk, and let's say Keegan is in the deal, so I don't think you would run – it would be more than Keegan, so it might be Kevin Huerter too.
Right, yeah, it probably would be.
Right, the same type of deal that we talked about for Karl Anthony Towns and just whatever picks that you want to throw out. So you still have Harrison Barnes in this. I just don't know Harrison Barnes' value. And you're not going to get rid of him just to get rid of him.
Yeah, no.
So if a team doesn't want him and now you have, I guess, a weird logjam of wings, right? Then that becomes a conversation of, okay, is it time to move Harrison Barnes to the bench because he's still on the team? Because at that point, let's say they take Keegan and they take Kevin Huerter and a bunch of picks. You have De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Lauri Markkanen, and I'm just saying Harrison Barnes' name. I don't know that he would start.
He has to.
Right, he has to.
Who is taking his spot?
And then now we're back to the Keon conversation,
Right.
Unless Malik Monk stays.
Unless Monk stays, or I don't know what you do with 13 at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've kept 13, if 13 was sent off in the marketing trade or anything like that.
Probably. Knowing data age, probably.
I mean, again, this kind of comes to where my mega trade spawned from is I just feel like you end up filling one hole and creating another. And I think that's where the Kings have to figure out how to get creative with their contracts. I mean, Monty talked about when he signed all of these mid-level guys and, brought in Chris Duarte, he talked about the flexibility of it. He's like, these are also very tradable contracts. Like these are you want a ton of 4 to, I think it's like, it's probably now like $10 or $12 million contracts.
Yeah.
Because those are ones that you can just, okay, hey, you need a sweetener, we can throw this in there. Oh, we need to bring 3 guys to equal 1. Here's Trey Lyles, Sasha, and Colby Jones, Kessler Edwards, whatever, and that equals 12 mil. So I think, you got to try and get creative. Try and figure out how you could, my Kuzma trade is essentially a salary dump. You got Davion Mitchell, you've got Trey Lyles, you've got Duarte. Throw the 13th pick in there. Can that get you something useful? Because you're really not losing a ton of impact player. You're not losing your core players. And I know core kind of gets stretched the more and more conversations we end up having, but I just kind of think that that's the only way for the Kings to truly like take another leap is by retaining what they have, but also adding to it. If that's somehow possible.
From the 916, do you think Markkanen is better than Fox or Sabonis? I think they're on the same tier. And to your point, I wouldn't want to overpay for same tier guys.
Yeah.
But you're adding someone else. I get you don't want to overpay, but you're adding someone else at that tier.
Right. It's the conversation of would you rather be more top heavy or more balanced? And
right.
I think that's, again, the balance that no pun intended, that's the balance that the Kings are trying to find is I think they kind of want it all. They want to have their cake and eat it
Everybody
too. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the difference between a really good team and a champion. Again, like the Celtics, they shipped off Marcus Smart. They've shipped off tons of different guys, and they still managed to retain what is actually the thing that makes them really great. And so that's kind of what the Kings need to figure out, man. It's a really, really tough task.
I mean, the elephant in the room to me, Chris, is that I'm just not sure how you achieve that and keep Keegan Murray. I don't see how you do it.
I mean, if we're talking about top level star, I mean, you can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And if we're not talking about that to our last segment, then what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's trying to build out the team then. And that's the route that you have to try and go. And then, you got to hope for some luck. I mean, I definitely think that's going to have to be the only way that the Kings get to a finals or maybe even to a conference finals is you see what happened with the Pacers. Like sometimes ball's got to bounce your way and off the floor as well. And I definitely think, that's going to be where the Kings are going to have to kind of get lucky is they're not going to have the overall star power. Even if they do build out a pretty good roster, they're going to have to probably get some help in the postseason. Cause I just think that's how it is. I think that's how it is with everybody. It's not just a specific Kings situation. Everybody needs some form of injury luck. Tyrese talked about it. It's just as important as anything else in the playoffs is just being healthy, being the team that's still standing.
And that leads us to, speaking of luck and hitting in certain situations, that leads us to who the Kings worked out a couple days ago that our own Brendan Nunez broke. We break down who these guys are and what they bring to the table. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Brooks and Dunn Reboot 2024 Tour.
I'll play something country.
The best-selling duo of all time. Live.
Dirt road.
With David Lee Murphy.
There might be a little dust on the vine.
Saturday, June 8th, Toyota Amphitheater.
Turn around, go to town, boot, scoot, boogie.
On sale now at LiveNation.com. Brooks and Dunn Live. Part of the Hard Rock Sacramento Concert Series.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Save on rows and rows of new Hondas during our giant summer sale at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to AlliesTaxRelief.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
1 o'clock, David Spade tickets. Right now, we break down who the Kings worked out a couple days ago. All right. And this is from Brendan Nunez, who broke it and then put up an article. Go check that out if you haven't already, sacktownsports.com. And you can see everything that Brendan had to say as we highlight some of all of the guys, but Brendan goes much more in depth. Chris, out of the guys that the Kings worked out, who intrigues you the most?
Definitely Keyshawn. I almost did the Stephen A. and I almost called him Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn George, out of Miami. We talked about him a bit yesterday. I think he really only interests me because he is the one that's at least mocked closest to the Kings pick.
Right.
This is where draft season gets a little bit wonky, a little confusing because I wouldn't say confusing, but a little misdirection-y, a little smoke screenish.
Right.
Where, you'll see these guys work out and then there's an assumption that, oh my gosh, okay, these are the guys that the Kings are targeting or Team X is targeting. And then come draft time, you'll learn, oh, they actually drafted somebody they didn't publicly work out. And turns out they actually had private workouts, 2 or 3 of them, and things like that. So, I try to not read too much into it. Obviously, it's not nothing. It's definitely something that the Kings are bringing in these specific guys. But ultimately, yeah, I'm still kind of looking at some of the other guys that were included. I think the 2 second rounders that the Kings worked out. But at the very least, I think it's interesting that the Kings seem to be identifying these, at least in their workouts that we've learned of, bigger guys. Like really, I think the only small guard that we've seen them look at is I guess they talked to Jared McCain. I think Sean Cunningham reported at the Combine. But besides that, it has been a lot of bigger guys.
So here are the names: Dylan Jones, Trey Alexander, Carlton Carrington, Keyshawn George. That was on Wednesday. And here are their measurables. Dylan Jones out of Weber State, 6'4.5" without shoes. So that probably goes for close to 6'6" with shoes on, 6'11" wingspan, 22.6 years old. Trey Alexander out of Creighton, 6'3.25" without shoes. So, yeah, we're looking at about 6'5" with shoes on, 6'10" wingspan, 21 years old. Carlton Carrington, 6'3.8" without shoes, wingspan 6'8", 18.9 years old. And Keyshawn George, 6'7" without shoes, 6'10" wingspan, 20.5 years old. When is the next Sacramento Kings offseason date of interest? The NBA draft is now a two-night event. So, yeah, we still got time, Chris, but to your point, I look at these measurables and I think, okay, well, Keyshawn George to me is the only one that really stands out. These are more guys that the Kings kind of have already, these 6'4" to 6'6" guys. Were you a bit surprised there wasn't anyone bigger or anyone closer to Keyshawn George or above? Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, they haven't really talked to many guards that we had seen, and this is by far the most guards that we've seen them talk to. But the interesting thing to me is when you list off their wingspans. Dylan Jones out of Weber State, he is 6'4.5", but he has a 6'11" wingspan, which means he could probably, especially if he is 6'6" in shoes, he can definitely play the 3 at that point. If you're 6'11", that's more than enough size to play the 3. Trey Alexander, 6'3.25", but he has the 6'10.5" wingspan. That tells me again, you can play up in a position. So at the very least, and Carrington, 6'8" wingspan. It's not great, but it is still something where you can maybe say at 6'4", he could probably play the 2. I think it's more just the Kings understand we lost to the Pelicans 6 times last year. Yeah. The Pelicans have a crazy amount of length. That has bothered the Kings ever since the Mike Brown era started. They need to bring in more guys, even if they don't have the height that you and I are looking for. Can they at the very least not be overwhelmed with size, or at least be able to combat it and say, we have some size ourselves that we can show you on defense? Yeah. I think all of them have traits that you like, which is why the Kings are going after them. I'm with you on Keyshawn George, but and Brendan says Dylan Jones 6'6" with shoes. When you look at some of these guys, and I know someone's going to type in right now, hey, too many threes, but Trey Alexander in his sophomore season, Alexander was 41% of his 4.4 3-point attempts per game. His conversion rate at the charity stripe and mid-range looks suggest promise in that aspect, whether that be on or off the ball. So they're still going to get their shooters. This is who they are. But to your point, they're also trying to get guys that can defend at a high level, or at least have the tools to defend at a high level.
Yeah, hopefully. And I mean, that's definitely the thing that I hope Keon showed them as well, is like, you know, having these guys who are at the very least like very multi-positional, you know, having a good wingspan, but just being disruptors. Like at the end of the day, like if you have a long wingspan, you can get your hands in passing lanes that others can't get into. You can do the thing that messed my finger up. You can dig down on drivers and slap at the ball and you know, just be more disruptive. The Kings love deflections, right? That's the number one thing Mike Brown mentions defensively as his favorite metric. He doesn't talk a lot about steals, doesn't talk a lot about blocks. He does mention rotations quite often, but the number one statistic that Mike Brown uses is deflections. And at the end of the day, the guys who get the most deflections are the guys who have the most disruptive wingspans, the most disruptive size. And at the very least, it's good to see that the Kings seem to be identifying these longer guys who again can play multiple positions at once, to keep that level of flexibility on the floor as well. I think those are the exact kind of guys the Kings need to get, because there are a lot of, you know, we talk about Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter kind of does have the size to play the three, but he doesn't have the wingspan. He doesn't have the athleticism. He's kind of pigeonholed at the two. Malik, he could probably play point guard, but he does seem to be more pigeonholed at the two. Same with Davion. We need guys who can kind of spread it. You know, Keon can play a little bit of point guard. I think they tried to play Keon at the three. I don't think that necessarily works, but getting guys who can play the 2 and the 3 and the 4. If you can get a 2 who can play 2, 3, and 4, these are the kind of guys that will always do you well. And, you know, as things change, as the Kings are trying to puzzle piece this thing together, you never know what spots are going to become available. And that's why, again, multi-positional guys are always going to be more valuable. It's just like in baseball, right? Got Mookie Betts. Like if you have a dude who could play right, center, left, second, short, like you're just going to be infinitely more valuable.
It just adds to the flexibility. Dylan Jones, look, Weber State, so it's the big sky.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's 22 years old, 22, closer to 23. He was the Big Sky MVP. Say what you will about the Big Sky Conference. He averaged almost 21 points a game, almost 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, 48% shooting from the field, 32% from three, 85% from the charity stripe, Chris, standing around 6'6" with shoes. He breaks down defenders off the dribble with a nice handle and physicality, doing most of his scoring harm within the arc while also finding teammates when appropriate. So Dylan Jones, to me, that is completely different than who we just talked about with some of the other guys that the Kings have worked out. But the question, Trey Alexander. So my question is this, and you bring this up a lot. Are you going to get Trey Alexander to just improve what you already do? Or do you go in the direction of, all right, and what we hear all the time from callers and texters, no, go get you somebody that when the shot isn't falling, like Dylan Jones, he can break things down within the arc. That, again, goes to the balance that you're talking about, because are you just diving into what you're already good at, or what you're already supposedly good at? Because they really didn't shoot the ball that well this season. Or do you say, all right, let's diversify what we can do offensively, get somebody like Dylan Jones who can defend, who can break defenders down off the dribble and create more at 6'6"?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the draft is all about, is about figuring out what it is that you specifically value. And like, I don't know exactly where those two are specifically mocked, but that's also kind of where draft position matters as well. Like if you're somebody, and I don't think these guys are, that the Kings are considering at 13, well, then you kind of have obviously a larger level of expectation, where with these second round guys, I mean, it's kind of sucks, but like they are flyers. Like a lot of these guys don't end up making rosters or don't end up playing a single game in the NBA. And so I do think with kind of what the situation you just laid out, like, I think it's just a matter of trying to identify who has the NBA skill that you're most willing to bet on. So yeah, you mentioned the 3-point shooting of Dylan Jones. You could argue that could take him completely off of your board. If you say, well, you know, in order for him to kind of, if he's going to be, like you said, the guy who breaks down the defense and all that stuff, can he do that in the NBA if nobody's concerned about his shot? If he can't, if he has a tougher time getting by defenders at an NBA level and he can't shoot, well, then what is he going to rely on? What's going to be his bag at the NBA level where, he played at Weber State. I think he played some games at Washington State. I think
he might have just been overpowering dudes.
Exactly. Like there's a big jump in competition. And, I know Dame obviously is the Weber State example, but again, I would say exception and not the rule.
Right.
So I would say it's probably a matter of trying to identify who has the single thing that I feel like will translate. And I, off of incredibly surface level and mainly just the write-up that Brendan has here, I would think Trey Alexander might be the better option, but I mean, that's just me throwing something out there.
Sure. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Let's go to the mock draft. And today it's Bleacher Report. And Chris, he's going to like this one. The question is, will you? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Get ready to fuel your spirit of adventure with Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. It's time to crank up the excitement, calling all thrill seekers. Are you ready for an adrenaline-packed journey? Introducing the Kia Telluride, the ultimate companion for your next adventure. Picture this: blazing trails through uncharted territories, conquering the wild with the power and precision of the Kia Telluride. With Kia Vacaville, you can join the expedition and experience the thrill of off-road exploration like never before. With its rugged design and cutting-edge features, the Kia Telluride is your passport to unforgettable adventures. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Head to Kia Vacaville today and gear up for the adventure of a lifetime during their summer sticker sales event. Your adventure starts now. Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit Kia Vacaville today. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or ceiling paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
1 hour, your chance to win David Spade tickets. But now it's time for Chris Watkins to cook.
Ooh.
Turn on the stove.
Okay.
Turn on the grill.
Turn on the hot plate.
Turn on the hot plate.
Okay, we probably should.
Hide the hot plate. Who hit it?
Who did that?
It is time for the mock draft today. It is from Bleacher Report. Chris Watkins, the floor is yours.
We have a full 2-round mock draft here from Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report. So we're gonna get a Bronny projection as well. Who doesn't love a good Bronny projection?
I don't.
Yeah. I think everyone's kind of getting collectively sick of it. Like, I thought that this was going to dominate. I thought it was going to be the summer of Caitlin Clark and Bronny James. And Caitlin's kind of holding a lot of weight there, Bronny.
We'll have some Caitlin talk later.
I'm sure we will. Number 1, Jonathan Wasserman has the Atlanta Hawks taking Zachary Rissache out of France.
He's climbing.
He is really climbing. Yeah, he's been in a lot more than just Bleacher Reports. He's been in several mock drafts as the number 1 or the number 2, but it definitely seems like he's starting to gain some traction as number 1. And as we mentioned yesterday, hilariously, the pro comp for Zachary Rissache is Harrison Barnes, which is I just don't know what to do with that information at all. I don't know if they're saying as a prospect, where obviously HB was very highly regarded, especially coming out of high school, but to say number 1 pick is going to essentially be Harrison Barnes. I just don't know how many organizations are going to be excited about that.
Well, apparently a lot.
But
again, this is we keep forgetting this is supposed to be a bad draft.
It is, and it's definitely looking like it. Alex Sarr, number 2. He is going to the Washington Wizards. His pro comp is Evan Mobley from Jonathan Wasserman. Number 3, Houston Rockets. And this is really just where it feels like things not go off the rails, but like this is really, as the cliche goes, this is where the draft actually begins.
Yeah.
Is at number 3. He has them taking Reed Sheppard, which I don't think we've seen a lot of Reed this high, especially recently. I'm looking here. He has the May 30th mock draft he did. He also had Reed Sheppard at number 3. So maybe that could be a case of he's having sources over there tell him that they're high on Reed Sheppard, or maybe it is just he has Reed Sheppard high on his personal draft board, and this is kind of him just kind of projecting through that. Reed Sheppard's pro comp is Dante DiVincenzo, which again, if you're spending the 3rd pick on the draft on Dante DiVincenzo, fine player, not typically what the 3rd pick in the draft is supposed to be.
Dante DiVincenzo to me is your biggest example of usage. When you say, I don't know what to do with these numbers.
Right.
And we have Sacramento Kings fans saying, look at Dante DiVincenzo. He would not have been chucking like that on the Kings.
We also played Dante in the playoffs against, he was on the Warriors.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was a bench player.
He was a gritty power forward.
He
was a gritty power forward. Yeah. And you know what? The Knicks don't really want Dante shooting that. That wasn't by design.
No, it was out of necessity and only because they had 5 players available. Number 4, Matas Buzelis going to the first of the Spurs picks. This is a very high riser on May 30th mock draft for Wasserman on Bleacher Report. Had him at number 11. He's now all the way up at number 4. Pro comp is Lamar Odom, hopefully on the floor.
Yeah.
Number 5, Donovan Clingan going to Detroit. We talked yesterday about how often he's been comped to Portland. Going number 5 here to Detroit. The pro comp Roy Hibbert. I am just fascinated with these pro comps.
He dug deep.
Yeah, that is going in your bag right there.
Yes.
Charlotte Hornets at number 6. Charlotte Hornets taking Stephon Castle. Pro comp is Anthony Black. That is interesting.
This is getting on my nerves again.
How do you pro comp a dude who was drafted last year and we don't have an answer for?
How do you go from Roy Hibbert to Anthony Black? guys that have been retired.
I don't know.
To someone who we don't know. What does that mean? We don't know what Anthony
That's
Black
what I'm saying.
is.
I don't know. I'm going to assume as a prospect, but even then, I don't think that's perfect. Anthony Black is
That just put you don't know. Just put you don't know.
Exactly, please. I can't wait to see the pro comp on this one. Number 7, Dalton Connect to the Portland Trailblazers. Is this? Come on.
I'm in.
Come on, guys.
I'm
Wally
in.
Zerbiak. This has nothing to do with Wally Zerbiak's game. I will say Wally Zerbiak actually did have a pretty decent game.
What about in this day and
But
age?
we can't think of come on, we got to do the white guy for white guy thing. Come on, man. It's just we have to Dalton Connect.
It's a rule.
Has to be Wally Zerbiak.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
no way. Okay.
It's a rule.
Okay. Number 9, the Grizzlies taking Ron Holland. Allen, yet again, their pro comp, Cam Whitmore.
You skipped 8.
I really? Yes, I did. Number 8, the Spurs' second
this
pick.
is going to tick me off.
Devin Carter. At least he's not at 13 to the Kings. He's been mocked at 13 in the Bleacher Report one of the past 2 mocks.
I don't know what the contract situation is with Trey Jones, but
Right.
maybe they feel like Trey Jones has a ceiling and
Right.
Devin Carter is flying up draft boards.
He
And
sure is.
That's a situation where it's okay to draft a guard. If you were listening to the show earlier, it is okay to draft a guard if you are a team like the Spurs.
Yes, absolutely. And they were literally who I had in mind as you were saying it. And I knew what you meant. Absolutely. And this is a position where, I'm still not sold on the ceiling of Devin Carter. I think he could be a scrappy guy. Their pro comp is Derek White.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. That's the best possible case scenario. And funny enough, the Spurs had Derek White before they traded him to the Celtics. So I don't really know what to do with that information.
But that was Derek White with hair.
That's true. That is true. They didn't know. They didn't know that he was about to come home.
Once you came home,
no, man,
you
you're a
became
different man.
guy.
Yeah, you just kind of you wear it. It's it's a different aura. At number 10, Utah Jazz taking Rob Dillingham, pro comp Darius Garland. They're both really skinny guards. I do like that comp. But again, I even think Darius Garland probably had was a better prospect than Rob Dillingham. I think Dillingham to me is like Malik Monk just fits. Maybe it's the Kentucky thing that I can't get over. But to me, when I watch him play, I'm like, this dude, even movement wise looks like Malik Monk when he's out there. So the funny thing is it could be which Malik Monk. Is it going to be Charlotte Malik Monk, or is it going to be the Malik Monk we see here? Or is it going to go even in a similar trajectory of takes him a couple years to kind of get acclimated and then eventually becomes the guy that we kind of saw in college? Number 11, Nikola Topic going to the Chicago Bulls. This feels like such a Bulls pick. I can't imagine anybody in Chicago getting excited about Nikola Topic.
Please tell them the comp.
And again, just lazy. Gordon Dragic. Gordon Dragic is 6'2", 6'3", maybe.
It fits.
Sure, why not? And I talked about this yesterday, but teams were informed of Nikola Topic's torn ACL, single ACL at the NBA's combine in, I'm not familiar with Italy, but Treviso?
Okay.
Treviso,
Beautiful
Italy.
this time of year.
Sure. Held for those who missed out on Chicago's combine. The diagnosis obviously won't help teams that were previously hesitant on the fence. Teams are still waiting for U.S. doctors to examine Topic's knee, but as long as they don't throw red flags at results that hint at a long-term vulnerability, a lottery team will likely be willing to wait on a 6'6" point guard who has success creating playmaking for teammates and attacking in other pro leagues overseas.
If he would he interest you if he drops? I mean, I know I just said don't take a guard, but this is a 6'6" point guard.
This is a 6'6" point guard for sure. And he was supposed to be taken. If the only reason he's falling is injury concerns, I think that's kind of what picking at 13 is for, right? Is kind of to take those risks. And you can make the argument, not that I'm saying this guy is going to be him, but that's how Denver got Michael Porter Jr. Right. And again, I'm not saying Nikola Topic is going to be Michael Porter Jr., but I'm more saying you could get a top 5 talent or top 5 prospect at 13 simply because teams are afraid of hey, we're the Spurs. We actually need somebody to play that position. Right. We can't afford to have just a complete nothing there. The Kings are in a position maybe where you can argue, look, we were looking to trade this pick anyway. We were kind of expecting to get nothing out of this. If we can get a top 5 prospect out of it, shoot, like we don't really care if he plays year one or not.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still think they could use a little bit of an impact player in this draft, but I still think the logic's there, and I wouldn't be upset at it. It'd be an interesting to see where he could develop to. At number 12, Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report has OKC taking Allen's guy, Tejan Salon, whose pro comp is Obi Toppin. Not really sure what to do with that either.
But no, wait, before we,
yes,
because there was another one that annoyed me because Ron
Hollins?
Ron Hollins' comp was Cam Whitmore.
Cam Whitmore, yeah. Again, I don't know what to do with that. And like Cam Whitmore also was a lot more offensive. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Jonathan Wasserman does his work, but
yeah,
I feel like Cam Whitmore was a lot more of an offensive weapon. And Ron Holland to me is like, I'm hoping he's going to be, he reminds me a lot of Justice Winslow. And I personally wasn't high on Justice Winslow. I kind of, rode that until the ground. And I think a lot of people were really high on Justice. I understand what the allure was, but I'm not really a big fan of these guys who, are forwards and physical and can't shoot. I just don't know really what your role is going to be in the NBA if you're one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
At number 13, I am a happy man. Cody Williams falling to number 13 to the Sacramento Kings. Pro comp too, Jaden McDaniels. I couldn't ask for a better pro comp.
This is a good day for you.
At least they have him listed at 6'7", which was his combine height, and not the 6'8", 6'9" that we've been lied to about.
It's just like Bumble. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same exact thing. People lie about their. It's just about getting to the date, right?
Right.
Once you get drafted, once you get selected,
we're sitting down at dinner.
Exactly.
Wow.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
we're already
sitting
here.
down at dinner. Well, and I will say, when it comes to Cody Williams, at least we're seeing some mocks with him. I haven't seen one mock with the Kings taking Tejan Salon.
No,
not one.
A single one. Not a single one. And I think that's probably because he's not really a Monty guy. He's just too raw. I think that's what it is.
Not a Monty
And then a lot
guy.
of people think he's just going to go. I haven't seen a lot where he's even available at 13. So it does seem like 12 kind of seems to be the cap for where Tejan Salon might fall. And honestly, he does really feel like an Oklahoma City Thunder player. They like to take these very low risk, high reward guys. It's the Poku thing. It's the even Josh Giddey to an extent was like that. You can argue Jalen Williams was like that as well. It seems to be up OKC's wheelhouse. The write-up on Cody Williams, while scouts do believe a team could reach on Cody Williams early, we're hearing that most still prefer Mateus Buzelis and Stephon Castle. Tejan Salon and Keyshawn George have also popped up as names who could leapfrog Williams. However, with an advanced handle or perimeter game, without an advanced handle or perimeter game, he still averaged just under 12 points per game, shot 58.8% inside the arc and 41.5% from three. And at 6'6.5" in socks, which
what are we
doing? Are we doing barefoot, socks, and shoes measurements these days?
Socks is crazy.
That's insane. And 6'6.5" in socks, and with a giant 7'1" wingspan, his defensive tools remain outstanding. Even a worst case outcome for Williams can contribute with his efficient off-ball scoring and ability to guard wings and forwards. But given his age, 19, and reported character, which I have not looked into, I should probably finish this sentence before I start criticizing, plus the fact that his brother Jalen appears to be on track towards blossoming into an all-star, teams could talk themselves into his upside. So I guess his reported character is positive.
Is good.
Okay.
Is good.
Okay. Yes. Well, that's great to hear. And Alan, that sounds like a Sacramento King to me.
It does sound like a Sacramento
nice guy.
King.
Come
yeah,
on.
a nice guy. More nice guys.
How many tattoos does he have? We'll have
You
to figure
shoot.
it out.
No, you shoot. Your turn.
No, I'm definitely not shooting, is what Cody's saying. No. You guys definitely shoot.
Wow. Well, I will take it for sure. And maybe one of these days I will get my Tejan Salon. Coming up next, what is the actual timeline for the Kings? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hello, I'm Frank Cocker with Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. CEO pay is now nearly 200 times that of an employee, but is there more to this number? The thought is that CEOs should include their employees in their financial success, or those employees may look for better opportunities. CEO pay is tied to stock market performance, with 70% of total compensation tied to stock awards. As the stock market has increased, so is CEO pay. Are stock options or awards for employees a way to bridge that gap? Many employees do own stock in their own company, so maybe the disparity isn't quite as dire as it seems. Approximately 6,500 companies provide for employee ownership through employee stock ownership plans, or ESOPs, covering approximately 14 million employees. When the employee retires, the shares are sold back to the plan and the employees are paid out. These plans can also be used as a way for business owners to divest themselves of their own ownership in a business to retire. By investing in and owning a company, employees can benefit the same as CEOs do, reducing the pay gap and helping cover retirement expenses. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Mosaic FA, a broker-dealer member SIPC, and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Mosaic FA.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Just breaking down some super regional baseball with Chris Watkins
and there's your boy.
Blake Burke from my alma mater. De La Salle just goes ding dong Donkey Kong.
And then what's happening in the other game, Alan?
And Florida State is being UConn 21-1.
Ooh, are they playing in the Pioneer League? What's happening?
Yeah, the Ballers, they might get them.
Man.
As we
21-1
continue the conversation on the
we get
Kings.
a mercy rule?
And now that Chris has said this, okay, this is I do this yearly to try to remind people. The Women's College World Series just ended. It was great.
Yeah. Did Oklahoma win again?
Yes. Okay. 4 straight for Oklahoma. Yeah. So shout out to them. College baseball is very underrated to me. Am I a neutral person? Am I objective in this? No. But it remains very underrated in my opinion. And if there's nothing else to watch this weekend, check out some college baseball. It's pretty fun. The ping of the bat, it gets the people going.
You ever get close to the tournament at all? No, you guys.
No, we had some real, I wouldn't say issues, but we had a new coach, as I mentioned, when I came in, and we had talent, man. Yeah. And it was crazy because the season after I graduated, Temple actually lost their program.
Oh,
so there you can try. Yeah, I got to tell people, hey, I did play there. You can still Google me,
right?
But there is no more Temple baseball.
Wow, that's crazy. And is that just budget cuts? Or?
Budget. They wanted to put more money. They just are trying to be a football school. They are a basketball school.
Yeah,
trying to put more money into football. And this is what happens, man.
Yeah, because I know like St. Mary's football. Like St. Mary's doesn't have a football program anymore.
Right. And Cal
had one a while.
A couple years ago. It's probably almost 10 years ago now. Cal ran into the same problem, and they were going to cut their baseball team.
Really? I did not hear that.
But they, Cal, the fundraising and the sponsors and
crazy.
All the alumni, they said, we're not going to let this happen. And Cal ended up going to the College World Series that year. And
that's awesome.
They've been pretty good ever since. And, there haven't been any issues there.
It's
so
a 3-run home run in that 21.
So it's 24-1. Okay, don't watch that game. But there will be some good baseball on in the College World Series.
That's just game 1, too. Oh, my goodness.
That's right. So make sure you check all of that out. A little bit later in the show, we're going to get into Chris Paul talking about the Clippers show clips saying it isn't accurate. And I don't know who is ever happy with shows or movies made about them. Let's try to find the person or people that are happy with what was made about them. We have some Caitlin Clark tidbits as well. And we get back into the Olympics a little bit, not as much as yesterday. Do they still hit for you? And we close out the show. We'll have some fair foul. Yes, I'm going to be grumpy on a Friday as we get into the actual timeline for the Kings, Chris. And I guess this is such a deep conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What does the timeline mean? What are you trying to accomplish?
Don't ask Trent Williams, right? He got mad at it last year.
Yeah. When I think timeline, I think, when do you think we will be the best version of ourselves and really have a chance at doing something that this team, because the championship conversation, it's a good conversation. We all want the Kings to win a championship, but getting to the finals or getting to the Western Conference Finals, doing something that you've only done a couple times or haven't done before, what is their actual timeline for that?
I view timelines as when is the time in which, if we keep hitting our heads on this wall, when do we actually give up? Like, and to me, like, I think this, and I guess the way that would manifest itself is, at what point is it, hey, we've ran Fox and Sabonis for 3 years. At what point do we maybe need to consider moving off of one of those just to see if it's something different? If it was one of those guys, and it might not be we talk a lot about Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter. Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe it is more just like our top end talent isn't top end enough. I would say the window. Well, let's run it out. Next season, they have to make the playoffs, right? Season after that, you probably are still going to be moving towards that direction and still striving for that. The year after that, I think, starts to be where people raise questions. And then the year after that, it's results or nothing.
Right.
And so I'd say 4 years of a window, maybe 5. I'd say 4 to 5 years probably past this, or from today.
From today.
5, yes.
4 to 5 years.
To me, next season has to be successful, or else the window is one more offseason.
Yeah.
If they aren't successful next season, I definitely think some sort of pivot. I don't necessarily think that has to be Fox or Sabonis, but there needs to be some sort of change that happens if the Kings don't make the playoffs next season, and it's not because of injuries or something like that. So let's assume they make the playoffs next year. Season after that, I think it's, okay, we have to build on the season of making the playoffs. Then the year after that, I think that's where the expectations come in. That's where it's supposed to be conference finals, if not further than that. The season after that needs to be a continuation of that.
Right.
And obviously, if you're missing any of these steps, I think at any point it can get cut off. So I feel good about 4 to 5 years. I would say 4 to 5 years, and I think that also lines up with De'Aaron is eligible for a contract extension. I believe it starting in July when the new league year starts. So, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 4-year contract.
But he can't get the Supermax because he didn't get all NBA.
Yes, exactly. But he can still get a max contract. So if I would imagine it's just going to line up with that deal. And what Mike Brown is now signed through 26, 27, I believe.
De'Aaron will get 4 years.
So you could make the argument that it really is just as long as those two contract is, or maybe until the last year of that contract. So you could move off of Fox or Sabonis if everything has gone to crap. And it's like, okay, now we can trade this star for that's on an expiring contract.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Your calls, your texts, your Sack Chat. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
The IRS deadline has come and gone. So do you owe money to the IRS? If so, you need an ally. Whether you owe the IRS $6,000 or $600,000, whether your tax problems are personal or business, the professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to step in and negotiate your fresh start with the IRS. Here's a happy customer of Allies Tax Relief.
Before calling Allies Tax Relief, I feared the IRS would take all of my assets. I owed them over $562,000. Thankfully, I was referred to Allies and called them for help. They ultimately saved my life from uncertainty. Allies negotiated my giant tax debt to an unbelievable $1,500. They are professionals and they fight the fight for their clients.
Allies Tax Relief will protect your assets from being seized and your paycheck from being garnished. Call right now for your free consultation. 800-296-0772. That's 800-296-0772. Or visit AlliesTaxRelief.com.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, his arrival on the big league club was delayed because of a knee injury and surgery, but it was certainly worth the wait for Miguel Andujar. In his first 7 games with the A's, he batted .448 and has 12 RBIs during that time, the most for an A's player since 2007. In his 13 hits, the 6th most in A's history for a player in his first 7 games.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family.
Take my hand, let me make you mine. Hey, Stasha.
Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club and Xfinity.
Swing into summer at the Golf and Guitars Music Festival, June 24th and 25th at Hagen Oaks Golf Course. On June 25th, enjoy the live performances Under the Stars from Craig Campbell, Corey Kent, Love and Theft, plus Ashley Cook, Mark Wills, and more. It's not just about great music and golf. It's about giving back. Proceeds go to charity supporting youth, those with disabilities, and our veterans in the greater Sacramento region. Tickets start at just $40. Don't miss out on these great nights for a great cause. Get your tickets now at golfandguitars.com.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
TBO for details. N7124.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
I was thinking about this, Chris, as you were laying out the window conversation. And I'm not trying to go dark again here, especially on a Friday. But it is interesting as far as where the Kings are now. And the conversation that we are having as far as, is De'Aaron that guy? De'Aaron and Sabonis, them as 1 and 2, are they good enough? When the playoffs ended in 2023 and Steph Curry happened, and you're sitting back thinking about how the season went, did you think that you'd be here having these conversations and having these questions about the team when that happened? Or did you expect that linear movement and De'Aaron was going to take a huge step this season? Basically, Sabonis was going to do what he did. And I don't know, maybe it's I think Harrison is Harrison, but I think, is it Keegan that really didn't take the jump, or Keegan didn't sustain, or Kevin Huerter didn't sustain when the game ended, that game 7 ended? If you were to look back at your thoughts on the team then to now, do you feel like you had a lot more hope?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it almost ties in back to the weak link conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kevin Huerter really struggling this season that put this team back further than anticipated. Because I think a lot of people kept waiting for Kevin to kind of snap into it. And like the first couple weeks of the season, it was like, all right, he's struggling, but he's a shooter, right? Shooters, they go through this, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, it's going to balance out, right? He's shooting 25%. There's going to be a 45% stretch at some point here.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. And I think Keegan definitely took a step forward, but his efficiency went down. And, don't mean to pile on him, but I kind of expected Harrison Barnes to be the weak link of this team. And I kind of always knew that was the spot that to me always had to be improved for this team to take a step forward. But I kind of was never anticipating Kevin Huerter to be viewed as such a liability. I just thought his shooting was always going to be valued. And yeah, we knew he wasn't going to be a good or maybe even a starting level defender, but I always thought that the shooting was going to be something that just kept him in the conversation, kept him in relevance, kept him part of the core. And I think after seeing what I would assume is the worst of Kevin Huerter, I just kind of think that the fact that door is now open to, oh my gosh, he could potentially just be this for another year. He could have another bad year. That's the part that I just never would have anticipated. And I think that's the part that if you would have told me, after Steph Curry dropped that 50, hey man, like we're going to be talking about a year from now or a year plus from now about these two really big holes in the lineup that just we're not sure can be filled with who's currently there. I just would have been surprised. I would have thought that definitely we would just be banking more on the internal growth. But I think after seeing last season how the planning on banking on internal growth went, I just don't think that's not a good solution. I think if that's hoping and wishing and instead of knowing. And I think that's fundamentally the thing that the Kings can't do, at least at this stage of the building process. You have to continue to actually throw building blocks on top of it. And then maybe once you get to a certain level, that's when it can be, like the Nuggets probably aren't the right example, but there gets a point where it says, okay, we got who we got, and we just need to grow this group internally and figure out how to play best off of each other. I don't think the Kings are at that stage yet. And I just think the further and further we get away from this year, I do think the running it back is going to become more and more frustrating.
Kevin Huerter, I got his stats up here. That was the worst shooting year for Kevin Huerter as far as 3-point percentage, 36.1. The only time he was close to that as far as 36 is concerned was his third year with the Hawks, where he shot 36.3, but 36.1 last season. And in the Beam team season in 2023, he shot 40% from three.
Yeah. And I think it's just a problem of, that's kind of what we thought we were getting. We were like, oh my gosh, we knew he was a certain guy in Atlanta, but with more opportunities, more shots, we thought he could be, there was more to it. And then we saw what that more to it was. And we said, see, this isn't even crazy. It's not even like this is the outlier, because this is just what Kevin Huerter would do with increased shot attempts, increased attention to other people. And, I think that's what made this season so disappointing, was all of those things were still true for Kevin. As a matter of fact, he had just had an example of what he should do and how he should, try and look for his shots and where he can try and get them. And he just took a major step back, like a major 5 points per game worse than he was in that first Beam team season. I just don't think anybody anticipated it. And I do think that it took I don't want to say it took an emotional toll, but I do think Kevin's shooting was really the thing where, JaVale the other day said people didn't really fear us, but they feared our scoring. I don't think people really feared the Kings scoring this year. And I think the big reason was they didn't have that pop. It was Malik was the pop, but you didn't have Kevin and Malik and Keegan as the guys who were providing that pop. This year, it really just felt like it was Malik. So I don't even know if people really feared the Kings offense this year. And I do think a big part of that is Kevin Huerter shooting and definitely Keegan shooting as well. I would say Harrison Barnes is shooting, but I mean, he shot 40% for a lot of the season, but it was on incredibly low volume for what it should have been.
Right. And I think some of that was, I don't want to say grandfathered in, but it was respect from last season as far as that fear is concerned.
Yeah.
Hey,
definitely.
this team best
know.
offensive
Yeah.
efficiency, in the history of the NBA. They could get cooking at any moment, and they really never really got into the kitchen, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, in a couple games, but it really wasn't what people feared. And now how quick it happens. Now you go from, oh my gosh, we're being hunted, but we're still hunting, right? That was the conversations that we had. And I think Kyle Draper, we had some of those conversations. That was back when he still did crosstalk. So there were a lot of conversations to be had.
I don't even remember that.
No, it was a long time ago.
Man.
And now all of a sudden, the Kings aren't being hunted going into next season.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody is. They're respected.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone thinks that this is a bummy team.
Right.
But nobody's got them circled.
No.
There is no.
They're the watch out. Hey, don't let them catch a slacking team.
At this, yes, they are a good win for the Blazers. Good win for the Spurs, right? Teams like that.
Right. But they're still fighting up as well.
I don't
the
even
Kings
know.
are still fighting up.
According to Whitey Gleason, I don't even know if they're a good win for the Jazz next season. I think it's a solid one. I don't think the Jazz are thinking, yeah, we beat the Kings. Right. I don't think so. They're not a playoff team.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a good point. I definitely think that the Kings have kind of, they thought that they were going to be part of that conversation last year. And I do think that this year they've fallen right back towards the middle of, they're almost where they were midway through like the first Beam Team season, where they have people's attention, but again, that fear, the oh my gosh, we can't let these guys get going. I still think a lot of people feel like these guys are very gettable. I think they just, fear. I think fear is the right word. They just don't really make teams fear them. They just aren't viewed as dangerous without their plethora of shooters. If they really only have to key in on Keegan Murray as a shooter, they can do that. Most teams have one shooter that they can lock down. The thing that made that Beam Team so special was you can't lock down Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray. Oh, and then we have Malik off the bench. Oh, you better not forget about De'Aaron Fox. And then we got Sabonis beating you with a 2x4 in the paint. So it's the collection of everything has to work. It all has to be cohesive. They all have to be pulling on the same line. And it felt like too many times last year it was, here's a good Malik game. It's paired with a good Sabonis game, but De'Aaron did kind of slip today, or, some combination of those three. And it was just not enough of, man, they had 4 or 5 guys tonight who had double digits. They had a couple dudes. They had 3 guys finish with 20-plus points tonight. Right. There just wasn't that many times where the offense was crazy explosive.
From William on the SAC chat, Fox and Sabonis must lead, and by improving at the free throw line, they'll show us they have. The free throw thing still to this day is going to confuse me, because they could be in the gym shooting 100 free throws every single day. Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to free throws and improving free throws, is it your form or is it between your ears?
All mental. It's 100% mental. That's all it is. It's just focus. It's just paying attention and understanding one shot at a time. Hey, this one goes in, and then you have to focus on the second one as well. Like it's just taking a breath, relaxing, and even then we're talking about the difference of De'Aaron was 74% this year versus he was 78 the year before. I mean, we're talking about a couple free throws throughout the duration of the season. I do just think it's focus. I mean, and it's also, again, De'Aaron Fox is just not a very good free throw shooter. He's a career 73% free throw shooter. Domantas Sabonis hovering around 70% career free throw shooter. There is an element of that's just who these guys are. And yeah, maybe they can be a little bit better. You can hope for a 74, 75% from the line from Sabonis. And hopefully maybe De'Aaron at some point here can get up to 80% from the line. But I just kind of think naturally these guys aren't good free throw shooters. And it is still a touch thing. Like it is just kind of a thing where you've been doing it since you were a kid. You either have it or you don't. I was taking free throws the other day at Golden One. Let me tell you, I was shocked at how short it was. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how I was lining, especially when you're out there taking threes like all the adults were out there. Steph Curry.
That really bothered you.
It did. It really did. It should bother more people, honestly. But yeah, the free throw line is not, especially when you're 7 feet tall. I would not classify on whatever, Bumble, Tinder, whatever apps kids are using these days. I'm 5'11". I'm not classifying myself as 6 foot. And I'm like, okay, I can flick my wrist and that thing's there. So I can imagine how close it feels for these 7 foot giants. And I understand why people are frustrated by it.
Well, it reminds me of, we'll put it to you like this. You ever play water pong?
Yes,
water
so it's like,
pong.
what?
You ever face a vert in water pong? Some 6'5" dude in water pong, and every time I'm thinking elbows,
brother,
elbows, and it's
he's
not
like,
their
my
elbows.
back here.
I'm just dunking
exactly
the ping pong ball. Those are my favorite wins.
Those bird eye views down on it. Yes,
looking
terrible.
into my cup and everything. Hey, take that sip. I'm not taking that sip. Yeah. Coming up next, we continue the conversation.
It should always be water pong. Also, by the way,
It is now. I think it is now.
It is.
Yeah,
It
because I'm
truly
like,
is.
It is.
Don't
But
fill
that was
the
a wild
cups
time.
with the beverage. Just don't do it. That's nasty.
Hey,
can't
unless
believe
you're
we
a
live.
frat star,
that was a great time.
just have it on the side.
Yeah.
Just have it on the side and take a sip.
I don't think you got to worry about that anymore.
The
Depends on
kids
the
are
best.
way smarter, way cleaner now.
That's right.
We'll see.
David, we see you. We will get to you on the other side. Also, we hear from Chris Paul on Clipped. Have you watched it? He says it's not exactly accurate. Surprise, surprise. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-439-4252. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-439-4252. That's 800-439-4252. Again, 800-439-4252.
Hey sports fans, it's JaVale McGee here. Are you ready for the event of the summer? It's the Jug Life Charity Softball Game hosted at Sutter Health Park on Saturday, June 15th. Join me and all my celebrity friends for the #1 event of the summer as our incredible community comes together for a cause that counts. The Jug Life Charity Softball Game isn't just about softball. It's about giving back. All proceeds go to the water education programs and providing clean water to communities in need. Thanks to your support, our team with Jug Life is making a real difference, bringing hope and health to those who need it the most. Bring your family and friends for a day you won't forget. Cheer on your favorite stars as they hit it out the park for a great cause. Come celebrate Father's Day weekend at the Jug Life Charity Softball Game that's happening on Saturday, June 15th. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at juglifewater.com. That's juglifewater.com. Join us, have fun, and make a difference. Jug Life. Drink water, give water, save water.
If you're in the market for a new or used car right now, or if you just want to go see like what new technology's in the new cars nowadays, stop by and see my friends at Elk Grove Kia and the Elk Grove Auto Mall before you go anywhere else. As soon as you step onto the lot, you're going to feel like family. You're going to know why they have so many 5-star reviews at Elk Grove Kia and why they're the #1 Sacramento Kia dealer. Like, I love this 5-star review right here. Quote, "I could not be happier. My husband surprised me with my new Telluride." I love it. The staff is friendly, kind, and conscious. Took their time to find the perfect car. Thank you guys for the hard work. Great job. I love my new Telly. There you go. That's just another satisfied customer at Elk Grove Kia. So in addition to all the 5-star reviews, the finance team at Elk Grove Kia has over 100 years combined experience. You know what that means? Financing for everyone. And we know going to the car dealership can be overwhelming, but come experience Elk Grove Kia. They go above and beyond to make sure this is an automotive adventure for you. Check out what's on special and what's on the lot today at elkgrovekia.com, or better yet, come see everything in person at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall.
It's Kyle Draper here to let you know that the famous Bay Area pizza company, Amici's East Coast Pizzeria, has just opened its first location in Sacramento, offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. To check out the menu and order online, visit amicis.com and click on the Sacramento banner. As a special deal, all this week, when you enter promo code SAC50 at checkout, they'll give you 50% off any large pizza. So when you want to enjoy half-price pizzas with family and friends this week, use promo code SAC50 at amicis.com, and Amici's delivers.
Giants are grown at Sutter Health Park. The Sacramento River Cats continue to fast-track talent to San Francisco, and you have the chance to see them here in Sacktown first. Your River Cats are home now through this Sunday. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
From Epic on the Sack Chat, teams knew if you take Fox and Sabonis out, the other options weren't getting it done. From Matthew Henson, I think Brown needs to be more confident in his rotations. It seemed like he was playing with the rotations all season, and I think that was detrimental to the cohesion between the guys. He was searching.
That first comment actually really sparked something. Like, I mean, especially when we talk about this specific finals with Dallas, like what would be the Kings' answer to essentially somebody doing the Dallas strategy with them where, okay, go ahead, De'Aaron, be the Luka. Like, if we can't stop you, we can't stop you. We have nobody who's going to be as fast as you. Go ahead and get yours. We're going to take out Sabonis, though. We're going to make sure that dude, he's pretty limited in his offensive bag. Like, we're going to make sure Sabonis doesn't get over 14 points in any game. And yeah, maybe he can assist or whatever. Do the Kings have, or would they just be in the position that we listed out for Dallas where, no, you guys have to have, and maybe we won't say, let's take Sabonis even out of it because he's not, we'll say Fox and Monk. We'll say they say, all right, one of those two is not going to kill us every night. We're going to take out one of those guys every night. Do the Kings have the same problem that Dallas would have where Keegan, much like we say about PJ Washington, we don't know if Keegan's going to be able to get you 25 on that night. Who's going to be able to step up and say, all right, I got this. And to me, that's, again, where I start to lean more towards my mega trade and bringing in as much talent as you could possibly have. And it does feel like that might be the word that we're going to use a ton for the rest of this month is just how can we get more talent in here to try and help? Because honestly, if you look at it, you can't just have two guys. No. You can't. You need multiple people who can create their own shot, create shots for others. And right now the Kings have 1.5, maybe 2 with Malik. And, you know, if Malik's gone, obviously that's taking somebody off the board. I just don't know if the Kings have figured out that problem yet either.
No, I don't think they have, because I think a version of that is what happened against the Warriors. Yeah, right. Sure. I mean, De'Aaron balled out.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And Sabonis wasn't terrible. And you just needed one other guy, really.
Yeah. Malik was great those first 2 games. Right.
And then they won.
Yeah.
And then Malik got cold and okay, somebody else, another role player pick it up for the team. And
look at that game 7. Honestly, that game 7, right? Yeah. Like even De'Aaron didn't have it going. Steph clearly had it going, but where was the offense going to come from? Who was going to take the initiative? Who was going to get to the line? Who was going to get to the lane? Nobody could do it.
916-339-1140. We are 10 minutes away from our David Spade ticket giveaway. But now the floor is David, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, David? What you got for us?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. Happy Friday.
Thank you too. Go Vikings, by the way.
Yes, skull.
Yep. So real quick about Kevin Herter. So the problem with Kevin is it to me is like the poor guy. You know, he struggles sometimes creating his own shot, but he had to look over his shoulder 24/7 because Malik was there, and Brown's a little bit shaky with his rotations and yanking people, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But even deeper than that, like you were just saying, those people, Brown's rotations, a mess. But I think the real problem is that Monty kind of fell in love with his own work, and you know, when last offseason re-signing Harrison, as much as I love him, he's a great locker room guy, he's a solid player. When he gets the ball, he does make things happen a lot of times. But the lineup is too short. Monty should have made more moves to get more length and other things, and he just sat there basically for an entire year and did nothing to kind of either assess what he had going or he thought that the product was a lot better than it was. Either way, it's a little concerning because I was alarmed that he didn't do anything in the trade deadline either. Like, come on, man, everybody's made moves this offseason, and you ran it back with a few little altercations when you lost in the first round to a fading but dangerous team the year before in Golden State. Like, he should have known then, like, yeah, we're going to have to do something to step this up. So I put a lot of that on Monty and Brown, but I do think that in Kevin's case, I'm not putting all the onus on just that he had to look over his shoulder. But you could see in games that he looked a little bit like he was, like when he got yanked, you could see he wasn't happy. And I think he even mentioned it one time. He said at the end of a game, like, boy, I wish I could have been in at the end of the game.
He did.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he did.
Just eating all the minutes up. But, I mean, once in a while you get a player like Malik that's kind of a athletic freak, and it's hard to justify keeping him on the bench for, But at the same time, I don't know. They got a quandary, but they need more length and more athleticism and people that can create shots. That's all I think. But
Thanks for the call, David. Great stuff. Great stuff from David. The Monty McNair piece, I feel like he was stuck. And I think that this was one of the only teams in the NBA that Monty would get a pass on losing in the first round and not doing anything, right? Or not doing a lot to improve because of the 16 years. That is why and even though we're talking a lot about last season, that is why I'm more so focused on what are you going to do this season? I'll give you the mulligan.
Yeah.
I'll give you the mulligan. That team finally made the playoffs. If you felt like they earned it, cool. What are you going to do this offseason? That's what matters to me. What I did find really interesting what David said, Chris, that I haven't really thought about is that even though Mike Brown may be part of, I know it was the scoring pop, and Mike Brown would tell us in the pregame pressers and at practices, I'm not starting Malik. I'm not starting Malik. Yeah. Kevin Herter is our guy. And Kevin, I think, they still kept Malik, and Kevin got benched for Chris Duarte twice.
Yeah, in the middle of the year.
I believe he got benched twice. But even before he got benched, I don't know that Kevin was ever worried about Malik taking his spot as a starter. But do you think that he was still worried about his minutes? And we think so much about he's still starting. Hey, coach believes in you, but Kevin is thinking, yeah, I'm starting, but to David's point, my minutes are dwindling. So I know that coach doesn't really believe. I'm not stupid. We're not stupid. I'm not getting starter minutes. You know what I mean? But Kevin, to that point,
that's the stress of the NBA, though.
No, I hear you.
That's called being an NBA player.
All right.
Somebody's always trying to take your minutes.
No, this is great stuff. Simone's giving me the Dame Lillard. We will continue the conversation. TC, we see you. We will get to you right on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San
Francisco. It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. First up, at Thunder Valley, June 12th, experience the legendary Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello. Then on June 14th, don't miss the incredible Maren Morris. And on June 22nd, don't miss NSYNC and Backstreet stars Joey Fatone and AJ McLean bringing back the hits. Plus, on June 28th, it's country legend Lee Brice lighting up the stage. All at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. And now here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donny Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
The news on vapes talks a lot about the technology and teen use, but parents need to know more about the dangers of nicotine. So know this. 1. Nicotine is a poison that can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can increase mood swings. 3. It can limit attention and learning. So even when it comes in new tech, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. N7124.
Father's Day at Hagen Oaks is sure to bring a smile to the man in your life. From shoes to shirts, from golf balls to golf bags, and from drivers to divot repair tools, Hagen Oaks has all this and so much more, including gift certificates for the father who has it all. Let Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop be your one-stop for all your Father's Day needs. You'll even find the wildly popular Golf and Guitars concert tickets on sale. It's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or HagenOaks.com.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis. A two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Gonna come off the top with TC before we get into the giveaway, so the phone lines don't get too crazy. Give our boy the floor. 916-339-1140. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Alan, Chris, what's up, bros?
Chilling, man. Yeah.
Hype for this Friday.
For sure. Alan, it's starting to heat up on you. I heard you earlier talking about it, man.
Man, no, it was not cool. Not cool at all, dude.
That's what we was trying to tell you. When you was over there talking about, oh, man, it's good. We was trying to tell you, bro.
It's not a game. I like Kevin Hart. I learned today. I learned on Wednesday, man.
Hey, but look, check it out though. Like, I don't know, man. That's so. I want to take a twist on the series. I don't know what's gonna go happen in that series. I'm gonna still go for Dallas, but I don't know, man. Boston seems like a lot, bro. But I'm gonna still give Dallas a shot. Seriously. As far as the Kings, hey, that last caller was on point. Like Brown, that's what. As far as Brown as a coach, he has things he has to tighten up. But that's the one thing in his lonesome that he can like straighten up as far as a coach. Bro, tighten up your rotations and know who's on and know who's off, and not just pulling people just to pull people. I know you want to I like that philosophy. Like, bro, if you're not hooping, I'm going to pull you. That's fine, Brown. I like that what you did in the first season. But like, if somebody's cooking, bro, you got to let them cook. You get what I'm saying? You can't keep up and down on the rotations. You can't look at the 11th guy on the bench as like, oh, you know what? Or the 7th guy, like, man, he's not going to give me nothing, so I'm afraid to play him. No, bro. Like, the teams are successful. They're younger players and random guys get in the game and playing. Like, you got to think about random guys, bro. Like, the Minnesotas and, like, we could talk about teams, the Denvers. Like, random people get in the game, bro, and they hoop. So you got to give people a shot. As far as Kevin Huerter, I'm not going to put all that on Kevin, but Kevin got to get big. But a lot of it, that was like on Mike Brown, bro. So, like, we got to quit playing. Monty, you don't get a pass, bro. Like, the passes is over. You have to make a move this season. That's what Alan, Chris, I've been saying it. That's over, Chris. Like, the giving him a pass, Monty, you have to make moves, bro. Get the guys in here what that Mike likes, bro, and let's move on. As far as Harrison Barnes, the move last year was supposed to be Dylan Brooks. I know everybody want to be crazy, but we were supposed to give Dylan Brooks that 20, bro. I promise you we would have been in the playoffs if we would have had just that simple tweak. Take Harrison Barnes out and put Dylan Brooks in with the same starting lineup we had last year, bro.
Man.
And I promise you we would have been a better team. Everybody, all the Kings fans hate Dylan Brooks, but his shenanigans and him as a player, bro, we need that. That's what we're missing. Everybody's talking about a dog, this and that. Dylan Brooks is a perfect dude, bro. That would have been perfect for us. That 20 mil, bro, was supposed to go to him. That's all I got.
Thanks for the call, TC. What do you think about that, Chris? Swap Dylan Brooks for Harrison Barnes. Are the Kings in the playoffs?
I don't think so. I think it kind of depends on how – I mean, TC's clearly high on Dylan Brooks. I think it just kind of depends on how you feel about Dylan. Like, I agree with the edge part of it for sure. Like, I definitely think I was a proponent of Dylan Brooks coming here on a minimum contract because I thought his value was in the gutter after last season and after Memphis. Remember, the report was literally – no, Memphis is not going to re-sign him. And you don't often see, no, they're not interested whatsoever in bringing that person back.
That was so random,
it was crazy. So I kind of thought he was going to be on a minimum contract. I would have welcomed it there. 20 mil feels a little bit excessive for a guy who, I'm looking, he was 12 points a game this year. He's maxed out at 17, 18. Of course, if he's more that guy, that's great, but he's always been crazy and efficient. I'm not really the biggest Dillon Brooks guy, like I said up top. So I don't think that would have made the difference. But, I sure a guy like him, or maybe if it would have been Dillon Brooks at half the price, I would be willing to hear it, because, I mean, we talk all the time. The problem with Harrison Barnes starting is that we can't find somebody else to replace him. So I think Dillon would, at the very least, give you exactly what Harrison's giving you, just way more inefficient.
Well, if the two players that got injured, Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, didn't get injured, and you have Dillon Brooks, I think you make the playoffs. If the two players that got injured didn't get injured, in Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter didn't get injured with Harrison Barnes, I think they make the playoffs.
Right.
I think that is where I'm at for me.
Right.
But if you're saying everything ends the same way it ends, and they still get injured, and they didn't make the playoffs with Harrison Barnes, I don't think they make the playoffs with Dillon Brooks.
Agreed. Yeah. Especially if it's just as simple as like Dillon replacing Harrison and not like Dillon with Harrison. Like, I definitely think I agree with you 100% there. I feel like, the ultimate problem was they had two of their five most important players go down at probably the worst time in the season, as the Kings needed to kind of be on an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
They kind of just, slid into the playoffs or limped into the playoffs. And ultimately I think that's the thing that ended up dooming you. And it wasn't so much by the end of the year, the personnel. Like, I don't know if Dillon Brooks, if the argument is maybe Dillon throughout the season would have impacted games to the level where maybe they don't lose some of those Portland games. And maybe that's, to JaVale's point of, like, sometimes maybe we just had a lot of guys, and I think a texter said it earlier, but like we did have a couple guys who maybe had the wrong mentality, had the wrong attitude. And maybe that's where a guy like Dillon Brooks, even though he's 12 points per game and shooting 30, it's a terrible percentage from three. He shot 35% this year, which is great for Dillon.
Yeah.
He's usually at 30 and 32%. So him at 36 is fine. But if the argument is actually his mentality, his edge is the thing where after one of those games, he's going in the locker room
after
and
that
saying,
Spurs game,
y'all are whack. Y'all think you're Memphis? Yeah. I was Memphis. Yeah, exactly. Y'all think you're Memphis? You're Sac. And he's like, I think it would, if that's the argument, I'm willing to hear it. But if we're talking on the floor, I just don't think Dillon Brooks is any sort of talent upgrade.
I'm torn because you could say the best version of Dillon Brooks, but then why don't we just talk about the best version of Harrison Barnes?
Sure.
Which we saw a couple games we did see. We had the Harrison Barnes, the revenge tour.
That's right.
We saw that, and I don't know if Dillon Brooks is having more games. Dillon Brooks might have more games of a less of a disappearing act than Harrison Barnes, but I don't think that revenge tour that Harrison Barnes went on, I don't see Dillon Brooks doing that. So it really depends on where you think the Kings needed the most help. We'll get back into some Kings talk. Want to have some fun here with Chris Paul. This is Chris Paul. I believe it's on Pat McAfee. And he's saying that, the Clippers show isn't exactly accurate, if you will.
Like the clip show just came out, the Clippers show around that entire thing, and one of the is that something you think about? Like, hey, are they going to tell all these stories during our time of the locker room?
I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Me and my wife watched the first episode, right? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of cringy, right? Honestly, because you got somebody who's telling their vantage point of
perspective. One perspective.
Yeah, one perspective.
Like you're a part of the show. Chris Paul is a character in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and I seen my wife kicking it with Donald Sterling's wife, and I was like, what? That ain't never happened.
Huh.
I mean, this is almost like I did see somebody tweet out something so perfect that it's great that the Lakers docuseries is on HBO, and then the Clippers documentary is on Hulu.
So shady.
It's very fitting. And I say that to say, I think
and
you said it earlier.
I like Hulu.
Hulu's fine, but it's not HBO.
Oh, come on now.
It's not the whole box office.
Okay, it's not HBO. Well, first of all, it's not called HBO anymore.
It's Max.
It's called Max.
Well, the service is Max. It still is HBO. Just like the streaming service is called Max.
No, you gotta stop.
Huh. But it's still an HBO show.
Yeah, I mean,
Curb
like
is
you
still an
ever turn on
show?
HBO, it goes it
still does
it says
that?
HBO.
Yeah, I didn't even. No,
I
I'm
didn't
not
know
gonna.
that.
I'm gonna sound so dumb. I thought it was all Max now, and there's no more HBO.
No, that's what I thought.
I could be wrong.
No,
but
I'm pretty sure now that I think about it because I just finished True Detective. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah.
It started every show. Yeah, it's still home box office.
What is because okay, so I was trying to think because then sometimes they'll have people on set. I told you I just watched King Richard.
Yes, yeah.
About a month ago.
It's okay,
and
I didn't think it was great.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's okay.
I was a little bit confused as to the hoopla around King Richard. I'm be honest with you.
They gave him the award for that. He slapped him.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why the slap happened.
Which is crazy because I feel like there's so many other roles. Granted, I haven't seen King Richard, but there are so many other roles that he's killed.
Pursuit of Happiness, for sure.
I'm
You're 7
shook.
pounds.
if you guys
Don't
are
sleep
saying
on
it's
7
not
pounds.
I heard 7 pounds
impactful.
is heavy.
I didn't learn anything. I guess when I watch movies, especially if I'm going to take 2 hours out of my day,
Right.
I want to learn something that I didn't already know.
Right.
And I guess the only thing that I learned that I didn't already know, which is why it's called King Richard and not Venus and
I know,
Serena,
yeah.
is the beginning when he's hustling
Yes, yeah.
to get them a coach.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing I learned
Right.
that I guess found interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm right there with you where it sounds stupid, I guess. But yeah, the movie's called King Richard, but I think everyone was going into it expecting like this should be the Venus and Serena movie. Right?
I just think it's funny that because they had multiple, they had a number of kids. King Richard has like 7 kids.
Yeah, actually. Well, they have a couple of them, right? I think they show like 2 of them, like just in the house setting.
There's
but
at
yeah.
least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That band.
Yeah,
was
I definitely
packed.
did not know
Yeah,
that.
and it's just funny that I wonder what in his head because it shows him at the beginning reading he said, "Oh, I heard what so and so got paid, and I thought we got to make 2 more."
Right.
That's what he said, and it's just funny that.
What about the other kids?
Right?
Yeah.
No. These are the kids. Like these are the 2 anointed ones.
Yeah.
But
The twins.
But yeah, back to Clipped and you guys hating on Hulu. The first now people are saying after we talked about Clipped, people said that they thought that they nailed Blake Griffin. I thought Blake.
No.
Yeah, I thought Blake Griffin looked crazy.
They nailed Matt Barnes.
They nailed Matt
Because
Barnes.
that fool's from Insecure, and
Yes.
I've always drawn
Yes.
that similarity.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, but
They
that's
nailed-
the
yes.
only one. I thought Blake was such a
That was crazy to
disservice.
me. Yeah.
It was
Chris Paul was
crazy.
fine. I mean, Chris Paul
Steph,
was
let's
okay.
say less.
Yeah, the Steph.
This
Dak
was,
Prescott.
I gasped
Yes.
when I watched it.
Yes.
Clutched
I
my
think
pearls.
Clay, I don't know. I mean, that guy was possibly Latino. I don't
Did
know
you see
what
the
was
guy
going
that-
on with Klay Thompson.
I haven't watched Clipped yet, but I saw the guy that they have for JJ Redick as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a white dude.
There
It's
is-
literally just a white dude.
And they
So,
lean into it too. They
There
lean
was
into
a
it.
there was a scene, and I need to ask Chris Paul if this is true. So there's a scene, and they're on the bus after they beat the Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's in Oakland.
Yep.
And they're doing the Shibuya roll call. And they say, "My name is so and so."
There's no
So
way that actually happened.
So it gets better. So JJ goes, and after Doc goes,
My name is JJ.
No,
Yeah.
hold on. You're not ready for this.
You
JJ goes, "My name is JJ.
Yeah.
I got the my name is JJ. Yeah, I'll take a shot. Yeah, I'll pull the trigger. Yeah, but I won't say." And they all say,
jump on him.
and jump on him in the bus. And I need to know if JJ Redick actually did that.
There's no way he's not going to cop to that.
There's a 0.0% chance
Who
that that's real.
created that?
I mean, I have no idea, but I saw a clip that was doing rounds of I guess there's a scene of Doc coaching them in practice, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Super
"Hey,
aggressive.
Chris," yeah, he's like super aggro. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
no,
Chris,
he was going in.
So this is why your friend LeBron has all those championships, and you. And I'm like,
Right.
there is no
This is
way.
why your wife is leaving you, huh? Because you
Yeah.
can't hustle up
Yeah.
and down
I'm
the
like,
court.
there is no way these
Yeah.
things were actually said.
Are
by
you going to
Doc
take it on,
Rivers.
Chris? You are waiting to the
The
weekend, or you're
bad
just
PR
not
of
taking
this
it
is
on?
Tough. Maybe if I honestly if I have nothing else to do, which I definitely might not have anything to do this weekend, I might turn it
Take
on. But
on.
it's just the tougher view. Like I I specifically don't watch movies because I need to hear they're good first. I don't know if I want to just dive in.
It's not bad.
I hear it's not good. All I've heard is bad things, and especially about the casting, but I hear the story itself is also not great.
Coming up next, we talk a little bit of Olympics, a little bit of fair or foul as well, and Caitlin Clark. Then we get back into some Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
You knew what I was going to spend the break doing. I found it.
Yeah.
I found the JJ Redick clip. And Chris's face
crazy
was hilarious. I can't wait.
Who greenlit it, man?
Did it happen or not? Simone, please. Whenever you're ready.
There's no way, dude.
What's up, my name is JJ. Yeah. I pulled the trigger. Oh, yeah. What I won't do. Yeah. Is say my.
Awful.
Did it happen?
No, it didn't happen.
It may have happened.
I will say that is honestly so crazy that it might have happened because I don't know. I would like to believe that a writer's room wouldn't come up with like, oh my gosh, I have so many. Now I almost need to watch just to get this in better context because
you do need to watch.
What is
why
did this happen?
They won, I think, game 3. And they're just on the bus doing the roll call.
Yeah.
Right. Millionaires
in
just
Oakland.
casually, right. As they do, right? Because
now I'm thinking about, this is
after the game too?
This is after the game. And the series isn't over either.
My name is JJ. Wow.
Yeah.
That's our not
I'll
ours.
pull
That's
the trigger.
Future head coach right there.
But what I want.
That's incredible that somebody actually wrote that into a script.
You're floored by this.
It's just crazy. Like, it's supposed to, why did that have to be included? What kind of character
They're trying
building?
To show that JJ's down.
Yeah,
but not too down.
JJ also doesn't have to. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. What about that is necessary to the story at all? Why did it have to? It
had to happen.
Felt like an attempt for a cheap laugh, and I don't know. For anybody who knows JJ Redick or that team, I just don't think that actually happened.
If JJ becomes the head coach of the Lakers, and when they play the Kings in Sacramento, I'm going to the visitors press conference just to ask him, did you say that? And they'll kick me out.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really weird that we're getting to this point in life where now biopics are starting to be in this frame of I remember all of that.
Yes,
you know, it always seems so dated and far back. And now we're getting to the early 2000s, that's kind of obscene.
I know. Hey, we're getting old. That's just what it is. All right, Simone.
Yeah.
You said you had something for us. You had a question for us.
A quick question. I know it's a Friday. We're just kind of leaning into the weekend vibes a little early. And I was actually posed this question by Christopher Laud yesterday. We were watching the game at an establishment as well. And the question is basically whenever there's these big matchups, I guess his friend always texts the group chat and asks, hey, would you rather live in Boston or would you rather live in Dallas?
Right.
So when I was asked that, I had my answer, but I was knowing I was going to be coming on the show tomorrow. I was like, I'm very curious to see what the boys will say. So I'd like to ask you boys, would you rather live in Boston as is or in Dallas?
It's not close for me. I'm going to Dallas.
I'm going to Dallas.
There are 1,000 reasons I'm going to Dallas.
Yes, and for that reason, I'm going to Dallas.
I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to Dallas.
I had come up with this list of all the pros and cons. Did you guys know in my research today?
I love this. Please, yes.
Yeah, my side by side for Boston.
Pros and
apparently, Boston doesn't do happy hour.
What? This is the general.
Yeah. That they
just don't believe in it.
New Bostonians will be disappointed to discover that happy hour has been banned in Massachusetts since 1984. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Probably because of how rowdy and everything. It says bars legally cannot offer free or reduced price alcoholic beverages to patrons. So you're paying full price
at all times. At all times.
Crazy.
Why?
How much of a degenerate city
are
you that
people
they
get
have
after
to
it too much?
Actual law.
Yeah, they get after it too much.
They just can't even give discounted. You're going to pay the full price. It's insane. So, I mean, that was one thing. The obscene weather obviously is keeping me away. I too will go to Dallas with you.
Yeah.
With you, gentlemen.
I mean, I honestly do hear wonderful things about Dallas too. I have
it's on the come up, and I
yeah.
know every city is on the come up according to
sure.
people,
So
but
answer in the chat too. We want to hear from you guys. Our text line.
Yeah,
call in.
Amid Rock is going to Boston.
I've never been out. I've been to Dallas before. It's a really nice city, great food, obviously, and tons of history.
Yeah, I mean, I need the food.
Yeah. The only thing that
What was that?
What?
The only reason I want to go to Boston is the history, and the main reason I don't want to go is the history.
Right. That is correct. And I've always, ever since I saw Friday Night Lights, there's a part of me that just wants to go back. And I know Dallas isn't a small town, but
you're already
go to a town. What are with the water tanks? I need.
We have one of those. There's one at Cal Expo right down the street.
That's why I'm here. And when I have my boy, and he gonna play football for the high school, and I'm gonna be a booster.
Yeah, Texas has two religions.
My goal is to be a booster.
Man, Alan as a Texas parent, a Texas football parent would fit. Yeah,
and after Toddler Stiles has broken all the softball records out there, he's gonna hate it.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not her, Dad. Well, dang it, try harder.
Kyler Murray thrived out in Texas.
That's right.
Yeah.
We
so
go
there's precedent.
You have to go to that silly ass Dallas Cowboys stadium too, with all the sunshine in your face.
You know why we're gonna be out there? Because that's where State is, and we going to State, and that's where State is. Always. All right. Coming up next, we
Dallas by a mile.
Have a conversation about the Olympics, whether they hit or not, fair or foul, and we give away David Spade tickets. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirks Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Bonnie. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Hey, it's Dasha. Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club and Xfinity.
Brooks and Dunn Reboot 2024 Tour.
I'll play something country.
The best-selling duo of all time. Live with David Lee Murphy. Saturday, June 8th, Toyota Amphitheater.
Turn around, go to town, boots, good boogie.
On sale now at livenation.com. Brooks and Dunn Live, part of the Hard Rock Sacramento Concert Series.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
What's up, De La Stiles and Wet Blanket?
What up, JR?
What up? And Simone, the greatest phone caller ever.
Yes,
right.
Answer her, yeah. Don't go tripping on yourself though and fall all over your camera.
I forgot about that.
That was a great line. I was laughing. Hey, here's the thing with those two cities. Among Dallas Cowboy fans, I don't think there's no way I can live among Cowboy fans.
That's true.
That's a great point.
But that's the
Oh,
thing.
my
That's the
God.
thing. I don't even know. That's the thing about Cowboy fans. I don't even know if they're in Dallas. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the ones that are out here, are special, so I treat them with respect. But
We are not
But
pressed
being a
about
Mavericks
Dallas
fan
fans
or being-
anywhere.
yeah, but also being a Maverick, a Stars fan, a Ranger, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a hard time with that. Even though you're right, it's a great city to go to. I went to a wedding just recently. So fun, all the different things that they have there. But boy, listen to those Cowboy fans talk about this is our year. We're gonna win it.
Right.
Oh my God! Shut up. Come out to Santa Clara. We'll beat you again. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
But Boston's pretty cocky too with their we stole Tom Brady from Sarah High School kind of comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take that city too. I don't know. That's a hard one with these cities. I mean, Denver last year I would easily said move to Denver, or Miami. Yeah.
Oh my
100%.
gosh, yeah.
These two teams, not so much.
Yeah, I didn't even consider last year's either. That's a good
yeah.
one.
So, hey, you guys rock. Shout out to you for making our day a little better.
Wow.
See you guys.
Thanks for the call, JR.
Oh, my goodness.
Must be payday. Everyone's in a good mood.
know.
Thanks for the call,
Everyone's happy
JR.
on this Friday.
And everyone's going to keep smiling because it is time for the David Spade ticket giveaway. You know
Right
him.
on time.
You love him. America's sweetheart, David Spade, returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And, of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. Looking for caller number 3. Got to be quick today. Caller number 3 to score that pair of tickets. Check out David Spade at Hard Rock Live on November 22nd, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Caller number 3.
Woo! That joint
Looks
is
like
filling
Simone
up.
got somebody.
Man, that thing fills up quick.
Got to be quicker than that. Congrats to the winner
I did
when
not consider
Simone
the
gets
Dallas
them.
fans.
I don't care.
I mean, it's not going to impact my decision. I don't think enough, but it's a solid enough point. But yeah, Boston fans are also pretty obnoxious.
But I was going to say, yeah, because family on the Sack Chat is saying Patriot fans, though. I don't think the Patriot fans are the ones you have to I don't know how cocky Patriot fans are anymore.
Not anymore.
Because
yeah.
I've said that the Patriots to me, I compare them to the Warriors. And when it comes to we have this level of greatness, we have this and this that. No, you had Tom Brady, or no, you had Steph Curry, and I don't know what you're going to be post Tom Brady or post Steph Curry. So I don't know how bad Patriots fans are now. Red Sox and
Bruins
and the Celtics. That's probably more of a problem to me than the Patriots.
Yeah, and at the very least, we don't really have Celtics fans won't bother us because it's we don't. Honestly, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we both hate the Lakers. We can come together on that. Obviously they lost to the Warriors the other year too. So maybe we can actually be friends in a weird way with the Celtics fans. But yeah, Boston does just kind of have that aura of we're better than you. And they're always, I don't know.
And then you're the outsider. You don't have an accent.
Yeah. I mean, we had a little taste of Boston here with our guy, Nick Cattles. And I think Nick definitely had a East Coast Boston edge to him that, it was different. I'd never really been around somebody from Boston before, but he just he was just a different cat. And I think that's really how it is.
I got to have some Sam Adams and eat chowder every day.
Oh yeah, sounds great.
You know what I'm not.
That's a good point. Dallas definitely would have much better food too. You get the barbecue scene,
chowder.
Oof. You get clams, right? Isn't that big in Boston? Don't they have
sure.
It's
a clam chowder,
right? Because there's Maine, relatively close.
Chowder.
You're just gonna keep saying.
When you talk about Maine,
chowder in San Francisco,
that's right, and Chipino.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, now that we're up top, right, the top right of the country. You know what is?
Can't wait for this.
You know what is overrated to me? It's a food.
Massachusetts. I don't know. Oh, a food. Up north, lobster.
Those daggone lobster rolls.
Really?
I don't get it.
Wow.
I don't get it. They're expensive.
Yeah.
It's just mayo and lobster.
Right.
And maybe some butter on the bread. I don't understand it. They don't, the lobster's so pure you can't season the lobster. I don't get it. It's cold. Yeah. I don't get the lobster roll thing. I
can't have it. I'm allergic to crab and lobster, but
no shellfish?
No. Well, I do oysters, which is weird. So I don't really know what specifically I can.
That's a bivalve.
Crab,
I don't
lobster, shrimp. But
that's a rough go.
It's I do what I can. A lot of salmon rolls, a lot of salmon. Yeah.
A lot of California rolls.
No, I'm actually not a fan of California rolls.
And you can't have the California rolls because it has crab.
Right, they have the crab in it.
Oh, that's right. But it's imitation crab.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. I can't have imitation
ground up.
Which is it's I don't even know what exactly it is. But yeah.
Enough with the lobster rolls.
They are definitely very hyped. And I have I'm seeing them, I'm like, okay, like I get it, but it's, it's kind of like, I like oysters, but I kind of feel the same about that as well, where it's like, yeah, oysters are cool, but they're also like $45 for 12 oysters, and it's not filling you up.
Well, I think buddy.
It's just a delicacy.
Well, I had a buddy who this was during music festival, Alan, right? And there was a music festival that I would go to every single year called Life is Beautiful in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the years we went, there was, they have food trucks there. Mm-hmm. One was the lobster truck.
Okay. Yes, yeah. There's one in Sacramento too.
And I don't even know. This man had about, over the course of the 3-day music festival, this man probably was averaging, he was a bigger guy. He was probably averaging at least 3 lobster rolls a day. This man was probably spending $80 on lobster rolls a day after the tickets and going to Vegas. $80 a day on lobster rolls.
No thanks. I mean, absolutely not. Especially at a music festival, bro. Like, what are you doing? I mean, I get it. I guess it's not Bottle Rock, right? It's not. Bottle Rock. It's all about the food and the
Bottle
cuisine.
Rock would do it right.
Yeah.
Bottle Rock would do it right.
I'm like, if you're going to a music festival, you should be getting some fries or something. I don't know. I wouldn't go there for some lobster rolls.
All right,
so crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Well, we're gonna swap this now because this show has been flying.
Why not?
And we're gonna do the Olympics on the other side. But so right now, what I want to do is talk about Chris.
Okay.
I'm tired of these made up storylines. I'm sick of it.
Yes. Yeah. So, let's talk about it.
So Paul Skeens, who pitched against Shohei Ohtani a couple days ago.
Can you give a little bit of background on Paul Skeens?
Yes. So Paul Skeens is the hottest pitcher right now. Yeah. He made his debut maybe a month ago for the Pirates. He throws 101 miles per hour.
And he's a social media sensation.
He's a social media sensation because he dates Livy Dunn, who is also a social media sensation. She's a gymnast. They met at LSU where they both balled out in their respective sports. So Paul Skeens they're trying. Major League Baseball is trying to be cool.
They're
trying to be cool. And they pull this one because Paul Skeens went up against Shohei. That's box office. And they say, talk about a full circle moment. After being in attendance for Shohei's home pitching debut, Paul Skeens is set to face him 6 years later at his home stadium. Full circle? That's a full circle moment?
It was like 8 years ago.
What are we talking? That is not a full circle moment.
Yeah, no, they're making it sound like, Paul Skeens first fell in love with baseball because Shohei Ohtani signed his glove when he was a kid. Or it's like it's a Mean Joe Green Hey Kid catch.
Right. I mean, Brandon Crawford, the famous picture of Brandon Crawford as a
down
kid.
at the railings.
Yes. Keep the Giants in San Francisco to go on to be the shortstop. That's a full circle. That is full circle.
Yes.
Okay? Not
hey, I went to a baseball game once
and Shohei was pitching. Now I'm facing him.
How much of a circle is it if it's not a full circle?
I mean, we're talking a crescent moon.
Yeah. It's like it's spherical.
I mean, Major League Baseball's trying, but give me a break here.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then did you see the at bat too? Because they made something of the at bat too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think he struck out Shohei
twice, and then Shohei hit a bomb.
Yeah, he threw like 4 straight 100-mile-per-hour balls at him and struck him out.
That's right.
And then like late, I think it was last inning. I think the Pirates were up like 11-3 or something. Mm-hmm. And then Shohei takes him bomb. And have you seen the screenshot?
No.
Oh, Alan.
Oh, of him smiling?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When your idols become your rivals, I can't do it.
Dude, I cannot do it. It's just like he has like, he is smiling for sure, but they're like, oh, yeah, isn't this so cool?
Yeah, I was watching it on SportsCenter and Scott Van Pelt. Yeah, he's just like, oh, man, you got me this time. But in this game, sometimes you're going to get got. I turned the TV off. I put on B. Bobby Flay. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not do it anymore.
With you, man. No, it's such a joke, and again, baseball's trying. They're trying.
I won't get mad at them.
An E for effort.
Yeah, I won't get mad at them for trying. Coming up next, this one flew by. I'll tell you that much. Coming up next, we asked a question: do the Olympics still hit? And if we have time, we'll get into some Caitlin Clark because we definitely want to get into shout outs and closeouts. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
It's Kyle Draper here to let you know that the famous Bay Area Pizza Company, Amici's East Coast Pizzeria, has just opened its first location in Sacramento, offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. To check out the menu and order online, visit amicis.com and click on the Sacramento banner. As a special deal, all this week, when you enter promo code SAC50 at checkout, they'll give you 50% off any large pizza. So when you want to enjoy half-price pizzas with family and friends this week, use promo code SAC50 at amicis.com and Amici's delivers.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
Ooh, what was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Carmichael Dave here reminding you this Father's Day you can make your backyard the ultimate retreat with Amy's Outdoor Living, your grilling headquarters. See the new Red Hot barbecue brands Napoleon and RecTech. Napoleon grills, perfect gas, perfect infrared grilling, built to last. And those RecTech pellet grills, they're built like a tank and offer the #1 rated grilling app. Now, Amy also features Weber, Big Green Egg, and Traeger gas and pellet grills like I have, and the Gosney professional pizza ovens. Guys, I threw my old pizza oven out. I got the Gosney in my backyard. It is so awesome to do pizza at home with the family. Free setup and delivery on $3.99 and over purchases. Save 40% off selected in-stock patio furniture and umbrellas. Visit their clearance center in the Sacramento store for scratch and dent savings. Amy's Outdoor Living, El Camino near Watt, and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center.
Giants are grown at Sutter Health Park. The Sacramento Rivercats continue to fast-track talent to San Francisco, and you have the chance to see them here in Sacktown first. Your Rivercats are home now through this Sunday. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details. N7124.
local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
It is time to get into a little Olympics talk. Chris, did you see Pat Sajak signed off? He is tiring.
I didn't see it. Yeah, you let me know during a break, but I was very unaware that his time was even coming to an end. It feels
Me too.
Like, I mean, we knew that Alex Trebek was leaving. I know he had some health problems that went along with that, but it feels like Pat Sajak deserves a little bit of a rollout, right? Like that dude's been doing that show for, I mean, I would guess at least my entire lifetime, if not much beyond that.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been doing it for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Long time.
Many years.
Yeah.
Well, and then are they a package deal then?
They being who are you talking
Vanna
about?
White.
No, I think Vanna's still. Actually, I'm not going to speak if I'm
See,
not
I
knowing.
didn't even know
It
that.
seems like it was very much a
forever,
split, but let me look into
So
it. a little
Vanna's
bit
going
more.
to stay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I probably have seen maybe 2 episodes actually of Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. What about Jeopardy?
More
You've
when I
watched
was a
more
kid,
Jeopardy
for
than
Ooh, nope. You're talking to a big Jeopardy girl right here.
Really?
Recording every night.
But what
YouTube
about
TV?
What about Wheel of Fortune?
No.
Okay. We
I
should
think Wheel of
find
Fortune is a funner game.
Wheel of Fortune is fun. I'll never forget. It was college week, and they had the kid. It went viral when it was the Legend of Achilles. You remember that?
Yes,
And-
Achilles.
Yes,
Yes.
Achilles.
Yes.
Achilles.
And then the awkward silence, and then the next person, Legend of Achilles?
that is,
bro, that is
correct. Yeah, that
It's
is
an absolute killer.
Yeah, as we get into a little bit of Olympics talk here before shout-outs and closeouts, get your shout-outs on the Sack Chat, get your shout-outs on the text line, get your shout-outs on the call line as well. Really, it's a simple question, Chris. Are the Olympics compelling? Do they still hit like they used to? Are you excited for the Olympics?
Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask, but I freaking love the Olympics. I love them. I think they're so fun. I think, of course, all the running events, yes, and this is the thing. The music hits every single time. Like, I can't.
Is it summer, though? Does winter
summer,
hit
yeah.
for you? Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, that's
some love for winter.
I mean, that's honestly a great point because, like, yeah, obviously the Winter Olympics are still the Olympics.
It's
I
the
just
X
don't
Games.
consider
It's
it
the X
Olympics.
Games.
It really is. to me.
It's Shaun White
I'm
in the
just
X
like,
Games.
I'm sorry. It feels different. Like, to me, it's the running, it's
Yeah.
the swimming. It's even like, you'll just randomly, I mean, we especially at our time during the shows, that's when you turn on like USA Network,
Right.
True TV, and there'll be the badminton final. You'll get, they have like shooting finals and things like that, clay shooting. It's just great, man. Like, there's so many good events. Even like the beach volleyball is fantastic. Obviously, you have basketball, baseball, soccer. It just goes on and on. Like, it's amazing. It's my favorite time. And yeah, I mean, it always feels like it's a solid month, but I always feel like I want more than just the every 4 years. So
Right.
I'm clamoring for it.
They spread it out pretty well. I'll never forget.
And then I
growing
guess,
up-
the last Olympics we had were pandemic Olympics, huh? Or did they didn't, because they didn't skip out on it, did they?
That would.
It just threw everything off a year or two.
Okay,
Yes.
that's right. Okay, so they did
Yeah.
delay it.
Yeah, no, I was just going to
barely
say,
remember it.
growing up, Michael Johnson in track.
Right.
Michael Johnson was my guy, man. And I wanted to.
Tyson Gay as well?
Yeah,
right?
I thought I was
Yeah.
going to be a track star. Michael Johnson, he had the gold chain. I'll never forget
Justin
the gold
Gatlin.
chain. He held the world and Olympic records in the 200 and the 400. My guy was Michael Johnson back in the day,
Allison
and
Phoenix.
right. And now we have
Lola
Sha'Carri.
Jones.
She's gonna try to do
Yeah.
something.
That's right. I forgot about the last time the Olympics happened.
I was
That
really
the whole
confused.
Sha'Carri
I was
Richardson
really
thing.
confused with Sha'Carri because she balled out, and then after the whole marijuana thing happened, she got smoked. No pun intended. And
Pardon the pun.
So wrong for
well,
that.
and then I think they were from Jamaica, and then it was Sha'Carri isn't as good as them. But then I guess she just had a bad couple races because she's still one of the favorites to win. And as we always say, well, your speed is your speed. Are you
Right.
just I mean, the Belmont Stakes are this weekend. Are you just hoping that you have a good start, or you know what I mean? I don't know how much change.
Fluctuation.
Yes,
if
if your best you've ever run is not as good as this person or that person, you ain't winning.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a track athlete, so I really can't speak to the fluctuations of speed. But
the runner, she's a track star. You gonna ride away.
I love it all, man. Like the relays are sick.
Simone's
love
sick of me.
the 200 hurdles. All like there just isn't many bad events in the Olympics, and sometimes it takes a while for you to get to the important races and things like that. But you'll always find random stories that are amazing. I remember at the last Olympics, they had those 2 high jumpers that ended up tying for the gold medal. That was super awesome. I just love it so much, man. It's so good. And I love the fact that especially now it feels like with all the streaming platforms and all the millions of channels we have, we should be able to watch just about every Olympic event that you could possibly want.
Peacock's got it locked. Peacock's got a plan, I'm sure.
Simone loves Peacock.
Peacock's got it. Yeah.
Simone is the biggest Peacock fan.
I'm their biggest fan.
Yeah, that's right.
Shout out traders.
Yes. Shout out. Speaking of shout outs, let's get some shout outs going here. Simone, we'll get that music feeling right, and we'll get some shout outs going. They're sliding through now. That's right. I barely caught the end of it.
I added that.
I barely caught the end of it from Joe Jaros on the Sack Chat. Shout out to the Sneakers app. Came through for once this morning. That's right, Joe. That's right, Joe. I cannot wait to wear those girl dads from my first Kobe's, or I don't know if I'll win them or not. So Joe kind of took that from me. I want to also give a shout out to Rancho Cordova Little League team. 3-0 since seeing the Hit Doctor.
That's right.
Tournament of Champions semis are tonight, and your boy will be in the building.
Nice.
I will head over to Rosemont Little League. I was asking Chris what's over there. We're gonna get some food. It's a family affair. We're all heading over to watch the kids. I was worried as a former baseball player. We are, we don't step on the lines. There's a lot of
very
things.
superstitious.
We don't do it. So they've been winning. So I said, hey, I don't.
Right.
Should I go since
Should you
you've
go
been
in the
winning?
dugout like you just watch?
I'm not going in the dugout.
Okay,
No. But
like
since they've been winning, I don't know if I should go. And of course, the coach said no. They'd love to see us. So I'm going to go.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really cool. You're just being a part of the Sacramento community. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Shout out the kids for sure. I'm going to shout out my softball team yesterday. We went 2-0 in the doubleheader.
Wow.
The second game we were obviously super worried about after playing an hour, and then
in the heat.
Second game was honestly the less stressful of the two. We got up big early and just kind of kept the lead. I think we won 13-3 in the second game, and it was 9-2 in the first one. We won on Tuesday our volleyball game, so no L's taken this week.
That's good.
Oh, first off, it's rare, and then
the calf and the finger not an issue.
No, calf and finger weren't an issue. Calf is acting totally fine. I got a couple. I'm not going to say exactly. I don't want to flex, but got a couple doubles in there.
Wow.
Probably could have legged out a homer if there weren't runners in front of me, and. The finger, in the glove side doesn't really, it's the ring finger, so I didn't really need to.
What position are you?
I'm honestly a utility. I play right center, but I've played short.
Yeah.
Love to play first.
Wow.
And
Jay's doing the Birdman hands now. to get you on the team.
Yes.
And you're doing volleyball, or volleyball's over.
Volleyball's still going on. No, it's
this guy.
It's both. It's both.
This guy,
this is going to upset you guys, and I probably shouldn't be saying this on there.
Oh, well, it sounds like a perfect time to say it.
I have a message here. I've been approached to maybe join. There's some rumblings about a Sacktown Sports softball situation.
Everyone but me. Everyone but me.
We actually have not. Wait, Simone, were you approached by Jay, or were you approached by, we'll just say others?
Others.
Wow.
Yeah, no, me and Alan have
now
only
I'm offended that Jaden asked
you know what?
me.
They're listening because it's
what's going on?
It's playing all throughout the building. Yeah. So whoever you are,
no one's ever here on Fridays.
That's right. We got beef.
Someone approached me, and I had to get clarity on what they were asking me to be included in, and I said absolutely, I'm in.
Oh,
We're assembling a team.
right. You know why I won't be attending those games?
Yeah, exactly.
Not even as a spectator.
No.
You cannot make me.
Y'all have fun with that.
Simone, what did you loop the scream into the music?
Yeah. Our closeouts, a little peek behind the curtain. It's only 3 minutes long. We have a longer segment here.
That's right. Simone.
So I had to replay it. Anyways, shout out.
Yeah, what are your shout outs?
Big Bro's turning 34,
right?
And we're going to be playing in the park. A little slosh ball, a little adult kickball. So, I'm going to be shouting out my leg. This powerhouse that's going to be just destroying people this weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
My shout out resides with me.
What's that game where it's really caught on? I don't think it's called slap ball. Maybe it is, where it's like the trampoline in the middle. People have been playing it on sand.
I know exactly what you're
I can't think of the name, but spike ball. Spike ball.
People get after it.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's like torn Achilles, #1 pickleball, number 2
I'm
spike
telling
ball.
you.
Because people,
they're
diving.
out.
Yes, full diving.
And then when you're at Dolores Park in the city, that's where Simone, is saying she may or may not be. Sorry about that, Simone. Right, don't check for it. But the thing is, you got to set up the spike ball, and there's all this space.
It's a lot of man spreading.
Yeah. I'm playing spike ball here.
Barefoot. They do barefoot.
Yep. I was watching spike ball. It was college spike ball. No, I'm serious now.
Going to the Olympics this year.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh my
God. You almost got Chris. I still got the list up. I can read the list if you want. We only got 30 seconds. All right. Thank you to all the callers, all the texters, all the Sack chatters. Thank you to Simone. Of course, everybody have a great weekend. The Drive Guys are up next to take you into the weekend. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Until Monday, secure the bag like the beam.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11.